Bro, turn that shit up, man.
There's hope, guys. There's hope.
I hope
if
there's
we
hope.
got the right people. I hope that is hope.
That's going to be the quote, the name of this show, Shayne. I hope there's hope.
There's hope.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Chicago's trading up.
100.
Yes!
What? Here it is!
Stick no competition.
Keeping it 100.
The people drop off, but we still keep rocking.
I know we need to run the ball more. I'm not an idiot.
Keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Open competition.
Keeping it 100.
The smartest man.
My Chicago Bears select Justin Fields, quarterback, Ohio State.
Guess who's back? The two dudes that kept it real. The dynamic duo that you love, the smartest man and Dr. Phil. Breaking down the film, never a problem, kick it straight. Most shows focus on stats, we focus on the tape. We keeping it 100, never running east or west. We coming with that truth, cause that's what our fans expect. Cut off the freaking anchor, moving forward to be free. But don't you worry, Shayne's got the dumbest tweets. It ain't no secret, Phil and Shayne got some haters. But now them out stuff like the true and now and laters. Debaters, frauds get kicked like Coach Tabor. Cuts had to be made, we added a barber moderator. Up and down, boys got you double checking. Sad sacks strolling like a fool drunk texting. Flexing on the truth cause you know they'll never change. Real, recognize real, that's what you get with Phil and Shayne. 100's what we do when we're breaking down the bears. Fuck a play or a captain, all of the unfair. The tape never lies, the truth, you see. We laugh, we analyze, so there's no babies like Maybelline. Straight to the truth with acumen and facts. We got a sad nerd, but he's not just giving nerd stats. Car crash, big impact like Max Sack. Every Wednesday night you got the smartest man and Phil back. Now we know you're smiling like a fat kid with fun day. We're back better than ever and we keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100, baby. Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100, baby.
Draft Dr.
Keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Shayne, Money Man Marsaw, and the guard. Draft
This is Only
You're
Fruits with my boys on the Tape Never Lies Network, keeping it 100.
The following show is for mature audiences only. Shy City Sports.
The tape never lies.
Concept-wise, his run game doesn't match with his pass game.
He didn't run a counter play but one time with your boy James Daniels pulling, and they ran out the clock against Detroit. They get the first down and the game's over. I counted one counter. There's nothing that counters anything philosophically that you're doing. It's just
and you put it perfectly right? It's counter what you're doing.
Fantastic, brilliant.
A counter to
Exactly.
what the play, so you slow the linebackers down, you slow down the reads of the defensive linemen. They're just not eventually, because look, no matter how good you are in the NFL, these guys are great, and they kind of get a feeling for exactly how they got to fit in their run fits. Exactly, nothing slows them down. You can't run the ball on these guys.
Right here, not here or here so much, but right here.
So you got to put some kind of counter in. The Rams, they put in that nice counter off the outside zone this year, where Cooper Kupp was coming back like a fullback, and nobody could stop that damn thing for weeks.
Bingo.
And all it did was it just looked like outside zone. It was a little bit of a counter. It screwed up all the linebackers' reads. The nose guard was flowing too fast, and they're coming back out of that. And that's all. Like you're saying, you put it perfect, Phil, man. They need something like that.
Quarterback after quarterback after quarterback. I remember he got so excited when you guys signed Jeff George. He's like, "Oh, he can sling it," which he obviously could. But
yeah, he could.
He was there for a reason.
He expects me to not push you up against the wall, biatch.
Yeah, for sure.
Were you ever in the huddle with any of these quarterbacks? You don't have to name any, but you were like, "Fuck, this kid or this guy, he just isn't. He's not going to do it for us."
Well, yeah, if we had to depend on the quarterback, that was a lot of the times, right? Going to games, we were outmanned, but
we don't have a whole lot of help, y'all. And we're outmanned and we're outgunned.
We were built on defense and running the ball, and we knew, and special teams when Devin Hester was returning kicks.
Brady bucks Devin Hester into the open field, and Hester picks up another block. Devin Hester, the punter to beat. He beat him. Devin Hester all the way.
We knew that, right? I mean, to compete in this league, if you just go through the history of the league, you need a first ballot Hall of Famer somewhere on the field. And we had a guy, right? We had Brian Urlacher. And look, that defense, for as great as all the other guys were, whenever Lack wasn't there, they weren't very good.
Oh my God!
So that's just a fact.
Hello.
Right? And
that's the keeping it 100.
Yeah, that's the middle linebacker position is like the quarterback position on offense. So no, we knew that quarterback wise, we probably weren't going to win the game at that spot, but we were hoping for a takeaway. We're hoping to control the ball, control the clock, have the special teams give us a short field, and just kind of, like you use an analogy of a boxer. We were just trying to land that left hook right to your liver. Over and over and over again, and beat you up just enough. That one pop through and we scored.
I've trained my kid for a quarterback right now.
I think he's got the makings of what you want for a leader. I mean, like I said, Phil, I don't think you can undersell a guy that was, pulled off the scrap heap of the NFL draft. I mean, that sounds awful. He's still super talented, but a UDFA. Expecting to get drafted, and he went in there, and was he perfect? No, but he's improving, but it's that mentality. You start to add 1, 2, 3 pieces, and now you're talking. I mean,
you're talking about Sam Mustipher.
Yeah, talking about Sam Mustipher there.
The fruits of my labor was showed, and so I really feel like this offseason more was critical for me to have that live film against other NFL defenses to understand the things that I need to work on and improve on.
Olin made a great point. They're talking about he didn't really feel like it was on James Daniels, that it was more so on Mitch. And this guys, listen, I hate to bring number 10 back up, but Phil, how often have we talked about he had all the talent that you wanted? It was this. It was up here.
You get into the NFL, you have all the talent. Olin Kreutz tonight, this is football talk. Olin feels comfortable with us. That just shows you what the network is. I fucking keep it a buck 100 times out of 100.
Have to keep it 100. Yes, the Tape Never Lies Network. The Tape Never Lies Network. Draft Dr. Phil and Shayne, the smartest man.
I'll face off anybody. That guy, I have nothing but respect. He is a generational leader. Hello.
There's hope, guys. There's hope.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen.
So it is Justin Fields, by the way. The pick is Justin Fields.
Sweet.
Diamond in the rough in Sam Mustipher, and to be 100% honest, I've been working with Sam now for almost 3 years, so I am cheering for him. Obviously, I'm a bias to Sam Mustipher.
Bears beats Battlestar Galactica.
I've known him since he was a young man at Notre Dame. Used to go down and help Harry Easton coach Notre Dame's offensive line. So I've done a lot of work with Sam. I'm cheering for him to succeed, and I think they think he's a guy. I heard Nagy say this year that he's looking for multipliers. a guy who makes people around them better. And Sam was one of the first names that he mentioned. And by that, I just think he means he gets everybody moving in the right direction and doing the right thing.
Since you brought up Sam, I know through you and a few other people that you're working with this guy right here, former South African kid who went to, 6 years into organized football. We had him on the show. Obviously, with your bias towards Mustafa is my bias towards this guy. His Yale tape at guard is absolutely Olin Kreutz-esque in dominate and that kind of edge that you were looking for in that position. I know they've moved him to center and he's in the competition. What are your thoughts on Dieter as you're working with him? I know he's raw, especially that, but he did go to Yale and he's had to learn this game of football in such a short period of time. There's a lot of clay there to work with. What are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, Dieter, he came to the gym for a little bit. My thoughts on him is like you just said, man. I mean, he gives you everything he's got. And he's a big, strong, and you can tell physical
look
on
at
the
his
football
hands.
field. Yeah.
Oh,
look at
look at the TTNL.
Gosh, he walked in, and first of all, most of his clothes didn't even fit. And I was like, this is a big human being. But unfortunately, he got nicked up a little bit, and I haven't seen a lot of him since. But I'm sure he's working hard wherever he is, and I'm sure he's developing because, like you said, man, if you could mold him into being a pretty good offensive lineman in the NFL, he's definitely got all the tools.
Up in Arlington Heights, Olin, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I don't think anybody likes the thought of the Chicago Bears not being the Chicago Bears, right? Not being in the city of Chicago and playing football, especially as long as I played for the Chicago Bears in that stadium. Soldier Field obviously holds a special place in my heart, but you know that this game is to keep advancing and keep moving forward. And these guys are all trying to find ways to make more money, just to be honest. And if you really think about it with that Arlington Heights, look, the gambling's legal now, right? So the next step is really like casinos, and they own the information and they own the casino. And these football teams are about to explode. So it would suck. Obviously, I think everybody feels the same way about it, but you also understand the other side of it.
Put your phone down, Mommy. We're eating dinner.
Oh, this is Claudio the Barber, and this is Shy City Sports, Keeping It 100. We got another great show for you tonight. We got the hard-hitting, lip-splitting former safety, number 46, Doug Plank, coming on. Then we got our very own patron, Alex H., going to come on with a special announcement. So let's bring in the boys, the yin and the yang, Shayne, the smartest man, Marsaw, the yin and the yang. Draft Dr.
What's
Phil.
up, Claudio?
What's up? Did I time it right there or no?
No.
Oh,
you went early, but for the broadcast, it looked perfect.
All right. Well, I tried.
That's
I'm getting
how you
there.
do it. You're almost there.
Phil, did you know I have a dog?
I was going to open with that. The guy that has a dog. That's what I was
We
gonna
just
open
found out. Apparently, our friend didn't know Shayne and I both had dogs.
You need me to come over and clean out that pool?
So what's up?
Big show tonight. The legend Doug Plank jumping on with us. We hope.
Yeah. We're waiting, Mr. Plank.
We're waiting for the dog whisperer to make sure. He's our producer tonight. But yeah, Doug Plank getting into the off season. Obviously, we hit July and it happened so quick, man. It's crazy how fast this
Thinking
happened.
about that today, I'm like, holy shit. going to be here in the blink of an eye. I mean, Phil's going on his month-long vacation here soon and pissing people off. But we're ready for football. Dude. I am, man. I can't wait. These preseason games are fun for guys like Phil and I know you, Claude, Jackal, everybody associated here. But these games this year bring even more meaning and enthusiasm to this entire fan base, the city, Bears fans worldwide, because of one dude, number one. It's, whole new direction. And again, I'm going to say it right here. Phil, what's the first play you drop for Justin Fields in preseason? First snap of it. What do? You attack. You
For
fucking
me,
attack.
I throw down the football field.
You're goddamn right. Yeah.
But
Deep to Mooney. Years.
I was lucky enough to be around great coaching my whole life. As I think back about it, one of my father's proteges grew up in our neighborhood and now is probably the most winningest coach in all of Connecticut. That's Thomas Brockett, one of my good friends. And Thomas comes from the school of Etoshan. You got to attack and run the football. You got to attack downfield and run the football. These things that are cliche, he won like 4 state championships back.
Yeah, we're not saying
back.
it because it's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
It works.
It's about what works, but also sending messages. Because football, there's a lot of layers to football that you won't get, even if you're fucking verified. They'll verify a tree stump at this point. It's ridiculous. But really, the people that know the game, like I love the game of football. So I know I spend almost most of my life living, watching, learning, teaching, instructing, playing football. That love affair is beyond anything. So when I get in front of the camera, or when I get around coaches, or when I get around players, I'm me. That's it. I'm centered. It's my center. People go to yoga mats. I go to the tape. That's why this network exists. And when you look at it, it's so frustrating for me to watch a team I know, instead of being Olympic swimmers, we're fucking doggy paddling across to try to fucking win a race. And that's really been the story with every coach they select to finally wage an offense. To come up with some sort of offense. We
It's
hear
only been
it all the
102 years, Phil.
Yeah,
Come on, you got to give them a little bit of time.
They
Gotta figure
fucking
shit out.
invented the T formation, and then that's it. They went into this, let's copy everybody. Let's not be original. Let's copy everybody.
We're gonna say shit in the media and do the exact opposite. Pull the okey doke.
Exactly. It's over and over and over again. And then when you watch the games and you tune into Bears Hour Live and you see me rant, you're like, I'm thinking the same thing. Those are my people. Those are my people. You know what, Phil? You spoke exactly what I was thinking. Those are my people. And 90% of those people have played the game, or if they've never played the game, they absolutely love the game and want to learn more about it. So when I say this stuff in July, what's today? July 7th? Yeah, July 7th. As you prepare for the preseason, Shayne and I, we take shots. We've never hidden that, but they're real shots. They're like Olin was talking about, my favorite video game there in the arcade. Body blow, left hook, uppercut, knock him out. All that stuff predicates to football because preseason football matters. It matters.
You're damn right it matters.
The Bears blog,
you don't have to look any farther than this team, Phil.
Exactly.
Where we came from before we were here, we preached and we were banging the drum on it all day that it was a mistake. We knew that it was a mistake.
Exactly.
But
even
Matt
in the old network, the fucking old man was fighting against, well, this is a new day, Phil and Shayne. Remember? If you go back.
Where's my
look at that.
Yeah.
The reality is I can't get enough of this game of football. So when we look at the tape, there it is. Well, that's not the one I loved, the arcade version, but that's Mike Tyson's. But the arcade version with the green guy, yeah, you saw it in the Open. If you didn't catch the Open, check out the Open tonight. We always look back at what happened last week in Olin Kreutz. If you missed that show, you missed football. That's what it is. And obviously tonight's guest is going to bring the same thing, football, to the table. Like, it's not fantasy football. We're not worried about points per reception. We're not worried about who you should start this Sunday and who's following you on fucking Twitter. What we're worrying about is redirecting this fucking team in the right direction and getting them to winners where they should be. And those of you that really have it in here, your heart, you're 100 crew blue. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable, this network, Claudio. The fans writing these letters and what this show and how they found the show and what it means to them. And I don't give a fuck if you don't want to hear this, but it's the truth. It's not kissing anybody's ass. It's just the reality of your truth. I take that shit seriously. I sit at my chair and I prepare nothing. I'm ready to go.
Do nothing.
I don't do it like Claudio. He does nothing.
Unscripted.
I just get there and I'm unscripted. What are we going to flow with? And tonight I was watching the intro and I'm like, you know what? Some people don't know how lucky they are to have watched Olin Kreutz talk, because he let down his guard and he completely kept it 100.
Right.
And I think Otis Nichols said that. And you realize that. And I think real recognizes real. As I get older, I'm surrounding my father was 100% right. Surround yourself with good people. We've done that here at this network. But we get these guests that come in here, they let their guard down and they talk real football.
It's not cookie cutter bullshit. We're going to go against, the consensus just to get a fucking rise out of people. That's, some people have built their career off that, and hey, good for them. That's not the way that we roll here, and we never will. We didn't build this network, Phil and I, when we started this under that, false pretense. That's not the way that we work. But Phil, I want to bring this up. I'm not going to do the tweets, but I saw this, and I think this is important to address, because I know that there's a group of people out there, and this guy is still taking lumps, but I want to throw this up here and I want to get your guys' reaction to this. In 2020, Bears edge Khalil Mack had 5 impact plays negated by penalty. That included 3 sacks with 1 forced fumble, 1 run stop, 1 pass stop. Other edge players' impact plays negated: TJ Watt, 0. Myles Garrett, 1. Joey Bosa, 1. Shaq Barrett, 0. One of the Smith brothers in Green Bay, 1. Lawson, 1. JJ Watt, 1. Burns, 1. Lawrence, 1. Okwara, 0. 5 impact plays taken off the board for Khalil Mack, and people are saying that this guy is regressing, not earning his money. I just don't know, other than you looking at a stat and saying, oh, he didn't have a sack today, so he sucks. Honestly, I don't know what else we can do on this network other than to just forcibly put you down in a chair and explain to you what the fuck football is. This drives me crazy. You have an elite fucking player in all of football, regardless of position. Yes. And you're going to disrespect this man because you think you can read a fucking stat column and say, what he is as a player. It's mind-numbingly dumb. It drives me fucking crazy.
I got to double down on this because, oh my God, this is the story of why this network exists.
Yeah.
It's not just Khalil Mack. It's David Montgomery. It's the player that is being fucking narratived about. I've made an adjective about this shit. It's the player that goes out there every motherfucking Sunday and busts their ass and has these pieces of shit that don't know the fucking game of football talking about it. When you watch the tape right here, I put go back. Khalil Mack was week 4, I think. I did just the Khalil Mack story. of what he's dealing with and what he does. And it shut up everybody. In fact, I got like 6 people that I immediately subscribed because you were my fucking conversation killer. I used your tape of Khalil Mack to shut up these people. And that's the highest of compliments because, listen, I don't cherry pick. I'm just showing you what the reality is going on. And with that being said, if you go back and listen to Olin Kreutz and the Open, I highlighted it for you. He said, listen, guys, every winning team, if you go back in the history, and I'm paraphrasing here, they have a first ballot Hall of Famer on it, right? We had Brian Urlacher. And no disrespect, I'm paraphrasing again, to anybody else on that defense. But if Brian didn't play, they weren't as good.
You could
Well, let me tell you the story of Khalil Mack. He is the best player I've seen on tape since Walter Payton. So if Brian Urlacher is a Hall of Famer, first ballot Hall of Famer, this fucking guy, granted the story, the trepidation that you might have because he wasn't drafted by the Bears has nothing to do with the Bears. This guy plays each and every down like it's his last down. He fires through the football, wrong shoulders, attacks on run plays that are away. This guy, I was told by a former Bear player on his team last year, you could decipher these players out if you'd like. He shouldn't even be on the field, Phil. He's so banged up. But the way he plays like a warrior, it's so disrespectful of Nagy to waste.
Yeah, and think about having a defensive coordinator that's completely on his side and goes into attack mode with the defense overall. I mean, just to go, everybody probably knows what it is at this point, Phil, but I think it's, Ryan Pace, a lot of it is warranted, but still, in that trade, the way that all the picks worked out, the Bears haul in the Khalil Mack trade, they obviously got Khalil Mack. They got a second-round draft pick back that ended up being Cole Kmet.
Yeah.
And they got an offensive tackle in Arlington Hambright with that seventh rounder. So,
an unknown, really.
Right.
But the last thing I want to do, because I know we're going to get to the legend, our guest coming up. The last thing I want to say, I want to put a pretty bow on Khalil Mack. I don't put average on my fucking wall. You could see him behind me because I get goosebumps when the bass line thumps. Somebody might know that lyric. Well, as a draft analyst, I get goosebumps when I see Khalil Mack thump. He is the real deal. More so than Holyfield. More so than anyone I've ever seen on the edge. And I know that's a lot. That's a lot. You're just being a home. No, I can't. Sometimes me and my father, I'll just show plays to my dad. If you're a patron, you would have seen it this past Sunday. Me, Berlissimo, and my dad. We were breaking down Mario Edwards and Bilal Nichols, right? Right? And then we couldn't help but look at number 52 of what he's doing because it's unbelievable. And when you have players like that, like our next guest, that come out there and love the game of football and play beyond the money. Charles Leno got paid. What did he do? He laid down. You saw it. Khalil Mack is playing hurt. Shut those people up when they're in you or around you at the picnic or the bar. Shut them up. Go watch the fucking Tape Never Lies Network. Show me that Khalil Mack sucks. Stop reading a stat sheet and start applauding players that actually give their heart and soul. Stop championing guys like Aaron Rodgers who can give a fuck. He can give a fuck. I don't know his situation over there, but I know there's something personal. That being said, I got fired up. And when I get fired up, how could I not get fired up for this guy, Shayne?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Oh, my God. I'm excited about this guy. We do it in our way, the TTNL way. All the 100 crew are out to see this guy, one of the best safeties you'll ever see. I've talked to this guy privately. And I am excited to put him on the airwaves to let somebody who's a millennial that doesn't know Doug Plank and the story of the 46 defense and where Doug Plank came from. It's amazing. This guy played the game. We introduce him just like this. And I've never done this before, but I'm telling you as the audience, pay attention to the intro. Watch the tape of what this guy brought to the table. You think I get fired up for Khalil Mack? Watch this.
This guy attended Norwin High School in North Huntington, Pennsylvania, where he played baseball, basketball, and football. A true three-sport athlete, his hard work paved the way for him to Columbus Woody Hayes and the Ohio State University, a 12th round pick of your Chicago Bears. This guy became the first rookie in the history of the Charter franchise to lead the team in tackles as a rookie. Over the next 8 seasons, his presence would be felt throughout the league and in training rooms all over. One half of the hitman, the guy the 46 defense is named after. Bears fans, TTNL fans, it is our esteemed honor to bring on Chicago Bears royalty. No collaboration needed with this guy. He's Doug Plank.
There he is, the legend himself.
Wow, I don't know what to say after that. It was like,
You're ready to suit back up, aren't you, Doug?
Yeah, oh yeah. You know what? It doesn't take much. You know what? And if you don't let yourself go, and you don't eat cream puffs and popcorn all day, for years, you can still get a body that can do it. I mean, I've replaced 4 of my joints with titanium. They're actually better. I have no pain now. I can jump out of a building and land on my shoulders.
The Terminator, yeah.
The same thing with my knees. I can land on my legs. It's like, and I just was watching those videos. Man, there was nobody on that field. I guess maybe Virgil Livers, who was a cornerback. I'm just trying to think of guys who were smaller than me. The kicker, the punter. When you're only 200 pounds and you're running around, everybody's 250, 300 pounds. Man, it's you have to really get ready for it mentally, and that's what it was more than anything else. It was more than anything physical or mental. I worked really hard in the weight room with Clyde Emmerich, who was our weight coach at the time, and he made it fun. He made it enjoyable. I'm a big guy in trying to play a game within a game. I think I told you guys about Gary Fensick and I playing games, how many tackles, how many interceptions, how many forced fumbles. It was a game. So we actually were having a ton of fun, even in games we lost, because we were out there blasting people and having fun and creating fumbles and everything else you can imagine. And
let me ask you this, Doug, though. As I watch that tape, there is a psychosis, mental state that you got to get into to launch yourself in the vicinity of that kind of. You are already the underdog, so you kind of took on that fucking Harry Potter invisible cloak, and we're just like, I have to be this. Am I right? Because when I watch it, you can't believe the explosion that you have.
Here's the other thing too. I mean, if you are going to explode into somebody, if you keep your legs on the ground, you can get much more of an explosion. But as I got closer and closer to those targets, there was people laying on the ground. I couldn't just walk up and hit somebody. It wasn't like that. I had to navigate around people, and and all of a sudden, kaboom! They were there right in front of me. The one play that I got fined, like $10,000. That was the big $10,000. I only made $45,000 that year.
Oh my God!
$10,000, and it was a Monday night game against Jimmy Giles. And the reason why I launched on that play was I was running at Jimmy, and one of our, linebackers, Bruce Herron, who came in third down situations, a great cover linebacker, and he jammed, the tight end right at the line of scrimmage, and then he just rode him down the field. But what happened was Bruce got tripped up, and he was on the ground. So the closer I got, to hitting Jimmy Giles, I couldn't hit him because Bruce Heron was right there. So I literally had, this all happens in seconds, split seconds. I had to launch over top of him to hit Jimmy Giles in the chest. This is after, getting knocked out of the game last week against the Steelers.
Yeah, no one remembers that.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? It's just like, and the other thing was I couldn't grab anybody that night. I could run over people, put my head down and act like I'm a locomotive. And so my point is, it's easy for people sitting on the sidelines watching the film going, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you intercept it? Why didn't you intercept it, then hit the guy? It isn't like that. When you're out there at a game, it's fury, man. It's anger. And
there's one hit in there that I can't get over your aggression and your ferocity in it. It's the hit against Johnny Hector of the Jets when he's hitting that hole and you just come flying through the alley and you put a perfect textbook shot on him. I mean, I haven't seen that tackle like that since, I don't know. I mean, that play there, if you're watching at home, rewind it back in the intro to Doug, it's just, it gives me goosebumps. Like, I know I've laid myself into somebody like that. But to be on that level, to do what you did, I don't think people can appreciate that, because we look at the safety here, Bojack, Eddie Jackson, and he's making business decisions out there.
Yes,
on $45,000.
Yeah, he's an incredible athlete. Let me just say that.
Yes.
He's great at interceptions, turning the games around, turning the ball over, all that sort of thing. But I do think one thing you guys mentioned just earlier in the broadcast, sometimes people get really, really big contracts. It changes them. They start making business decisions. Do I really want to be around? Do I want to hit people and maybe, break some bones and do some damage to my body that I have to deal with the rest of my life? Or can I just take it easy, cut back a little bit, maybe 50%? I'll still get the interception, but I have no interest in trying to run into anybody anymore. And you know what? Here's what's beauty of football too. You guys know this.
Yeah.
You're standing on the sidelines, you're watching this. You can tell immediately after my 10 or 11 years of coaching, in college, in the NFL, you can tell right away who's got it, who wants it, and who doesn't want it. And
boom,
that doesn't mean anything, and that guy, the reason why I blew that guy up, that guy was my size. He was one of the first time I ran into somebody my own size.
I don't know. Johnny Hector, I think, because Freeman McNeil was a friend of mine. Like, that was my mentor as a little boy. Like, he took me under his wing. So I love Freeman. And there's another clip that I found where you tackle Freeman, but this one had to go in there because I think Hector was the short yardage back. 40, he would come in and he was like 220 pounds. So I just amazing. I mean, that's just one thing. As a coach, you hit it out of the park. I'm sorry, Shayne. I know you have a question, but we're talking ball with the legend here. I mean,
I just wanted to share this. Jackal sent me over the hit on Giles here.
Here we go. I mean, Doug Williams tripping.
But Doug, I was talking to my dad.
It wasn't even that bad. I gotta be honest.
No, it wasn't.
It was not that bad.
Let me tell you this though. I went to New York to protest it in front
Did
of
you?
Pete Rozelle. Yeah, he fined me $10,000.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I mean, I made $45,000 that year. So you figure it out. Divided by 16 games. Okay, I'm making $3,000 a game gross.
Yeah.
And they take your fines in net pay. So let's say you made $5,000 that week. That was your salary. Well, after taxes, you probably came away with $3,500. So it took me, I don't know how many games, 3 or 4 games.
Wow. To make up for it.
There was another play. I remember we played the Jets And in that same game, there was a receiver that came across the middle, and I'm getting ready to hit him, and suddenly Allen Ellis, for I don't know what reason, just shows up out of nowhere. He's going to get the interception. The problem is he cut in front of me and the receiver. So, I'm not going to avoid everybody. So I just kept on my course. I end up hitting Allen Ellis into the receiver, and the receiver fumbled the ball.
Yeah.
So then
that plays in there too. That highlights in there, and you pick up the fumble. You had the presence of mind to know the ball was on the ground, and you picked it up, and you run at. You were an unbelievable football player. Yeah. Shayne, go ahead.
I just wanted to. I talked to my dad earlier this afternoon, Doug, and he knew that we were doing a show tonight, and I'm like, yeah, we're gonna have Doug Plank on. I said, my dad's not a huge football. He's more of a casual football fan, but he's a big basketball fan. And we were talking. I'm like, do you remember Doug Plank? And he's like, and he knows I'm a huge Bears fan. He's like, you know what? He goes, he's Doug Plank and Gary Fensick. He's like, I used to tune in. These are his exact words, so don't get offended. I used to tune in just to see those two motherfuckers, to see if they were actually going to kill somebody on the field. He's like, I would get so excited just to watch. He's like, I wouldn't pay any attention to offense. Bears would come out on defense, and I'd watch Fensick and Plank do their thing. He's like, that used to make me so happy to watch those guys. So from a casual football fan, my dad in New York, he loves you guys and respected you guys, and he just turned 82 years old, so he was excited about you coming on with us.
That's great. You know what? Really, I look back at it, and Gary came in very mild-mannered. He was a former receiver at Yale, and he got let go by the Dolphins. I think he compressed a lung or something. I forget. But, when I started doing all this stuff back there, I'm telling you, I could have gone even twice as hard as I did already, because you know what, though? I didn't have anybody on my side. That night, on Monday night, when I got fined for Giles and Pete Rozelle, nobody backed me up. No, our team didn't back me up. Nobody came in and said, hey, listen, Doug, we got it covered. You know what? Then every game after that, officials walked over to me and say, hey, Doug, take it easy on these guys today, or don't hit them. You know what? What am I now?
That's your game.
I'm making my 45,000. How many hits do I have to have before I can wipe out my whole salary in a day? Not many, just one or two. There were times in the game, I'm telling you, I wanted to blast everybody. Running backs, receivers, even linemen. There was even linemen standing around. You know what, though? Nobody was protecting me.
That sucks
I
right
go
there.
Run around like a gazelle in the forest. I had to be very cautious and actually control myself. That would have been really, really fun if they would have just said, hey, you and Gary, go get him, man. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. That's a problem. Sam Rutigliano is my uncle, head coach of the Browns in
yes, I remember you saying that.
Your backyard. And when Sam's having some issues with memory now, but when me and my father went to visit him, we were talking about Walter Payton being the greatest running back / football player that ever lived. And Sam's like, no, Jim Brown. And my father and him arguing back and forth. It was priceless. And he's like, you know what? When we played the Bears, and this is a true story now, Doug, I was waiting for the show. That's why I kept bothering you to make sure I get you on this show, because I want you to hear this. When we played the Bears, I instructed my whole football team, you better keep your head on a swivel, because 46 is going to fucking take someone out tonight. And that's the true story. I remember being there, and I was like, 46? He's like, because, I was younger, and he's like, yeah, Doug Plank. He grew up in Ohio here, and he was a football player. Let me tell you that. And that's the reputation that you carried through opponents. You know what I'm saying? And I really, it's disheartening to hear you tell that story, because I would envision that your whole team was like, don't worry, Doug. Everybody, we're all kicking in $500 to pay for Doug's fine, because that kept the momentum of the fucking team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know what? I really believe this, and I'm not trying to say I'm somebody. I'm not, because I know my limitations, but there's no doubt in my mind that Gary and I really started this entire intensity that the Chicago Bears defense had back in 1980 or 81.
100%.
You don't have to say it. Let us say it. If Buddy Ryan, who's a legend, like a forward, Buddy has his reputation, punched fucking, what's his name, Kevin Gilbride, who's from Connecticut, friends of my dad. Yeah. He punched Kevin Gilbride in the face. He didn't get along with Ditka. They hated each other half the time.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
And you know what? He is not going to name a freaking defense about somebody who was soft as puppy shit, as we say. He was nasty, and you played the game on a level of intellect, like you knew the game, so it allowed you to be on the ground and explosive. And I think this game of football with business decisions and all of that must get you fired up because, A, I didn't know the story that nobody backed you up, and it kind of took you out of who you are.
Yeah, you know what? I still did what I had to do, and but it's just like that Monday night game against Tampa Bay, and I didn't practice all week, and then all of a sudden, Buddy Ryan takes all my stuff down there. He instructed one of the equipment guys to bring all my helmet and shoulder pads, and so I get on there, and instead of backing up somebody, I'm starting. Even though I have broken ribs. There's ways of correcting broken ribs in a couple hours or a couple minutes. Actually, you can go in there and get shot up, injected, and after 5 minutes, I felt like I was brand new, like nobody had hit me or anything. So I went out there, and it was kind of a shock to hear that news that I was going to be starting, and this is one thing about football, the NFL. You have to prepare yourself days to get ready to play a game. Because it's not like just driving your car down to the grocery. You're going to get hit and smashed and hit in the back and sideswiped, the entire game, especially when you have a reputation like I had and Gary had. I mean, we were dodging linemen all game long because those guys were coming trying to hit us in the back, cut our legs out, whatever. That's why we were always moving 100 miles an hour. I always wanted to be a moving target. And if they could think about what I was doing, absolutely. I could change the game. I could change their focus and not get it on what would win them the game, but instead chasing me around the football field. And it was fun. I wish I was allowed to just go more angry. Maybe hit the NFL 10 years earlier. Where it was really, really the man's game back then. Guys were almost punching each other on the field. And I mean, you could almost do anything back then. When I first got to the National Football League in 1975, guys that were running across the field on crossing routes, as long as the ball wasn't thrown, you could destroy them. Close line, cut their legs out. I mean, I wish I would have played. That's where I was. I was out of my element. I was like a dinosaur. In today, I this didn't work. Even the rules right now in the National Football League, if you came in here and played in the 70s and 80s, I'm sorry, you're not playing today, because the targeting thing now, you're getting about targeting and you got bad. I remember I was done. We were playing Tampa one day, and I flew over a pile, and they got a flag thrown on me, 15 yards for unnecessary roughness. And I didn't hit anybody. I just came in late. I wanted to hit somebody. I wanted to hit Jimmy Giles. And
again,
he went down at the last second. So I dove over the pile, and when I hit the ground, that's all I hit was the ground. I saw a flag get thrown right, at me, and the official said, unnecessary roughness. I said, sir, I didn't even touch anybody. He goes, but you wanted to. You had
God.
You got. Okay, sir.
You got
welcome to the NFL.
Intentions.
Jesus.
I had bad intentions. You're right. Yeah. I had bad intentions, and I would admit to that. But it's just to see. I'm not saying it's different now. It's much more athletic. The players are bigger, obviously. But I think I would have liked to have gone out there and just really turned it loose because I could have done so much more.
Yep. Well, Doug, we listened to you talk, and I mean, just hearing you talk about it gets me fired up and almost sweating and ready for football. But I want to turn it to when you see a guy, and I've always been a big Eddie Goldman fan on this team right now, a guy that's been really underrated throughout, the entire NFL, really, for what he does. Sure. But he signed that 4-year, $42 million contract, and I'm not going to get into the COVID stuff. He had his reasons for opting out, but where I separate that and I have the big problem is I got pissed when he didn't show up for the voluntary stuff, but then the mandatory stuff, he didn't get a hold of anybody and show up. But Doug Plank, as you were just saying, man, I just wish I could go out there and just, do it again, and just how excited you are talking about it. I have a feeling that Eddie he was the biggest kid in 7th grade, and they said, you should play football. And so that's how, that's really maybe the path that he took. But how do you, when you see stuff like that as Doug Plank, with everything that you went through in your era, how does that affect you as a former player and a former Chicago Bear?
Yeah, you know what? Even coaching, though, coaching. When I coached, I started out in the Arena League. I coached with Danny White, the former Cowboys quarterback, for 3 years. So I was, there's no level of coaching in arena football. You're either the head coach or you're the other coordinator, either defense or offense. So I'm the defensive coordinator, and it's, Danny White and I. He's on the first bus, I'm on the second bus. That's it. There's nobody coaches. That was good, though, because, you learn coaching real quick, because you don't have 5 or 6 guys there. You got to do everything yourself, practice-wise. And, I tried to motivate the players as much as I possibly could, much like Woody Hayes, guys like Woody Hayes did for me in college at Ohio State, or Buddy Ryan, or Mike Ditka. Those guys were the real deal. I mean, yeah, you had to show up and you had to know what you was doing. But the nice thing about those guys, man, they just put you on fire. They lit you on fire.
Yep.
And, they made it like, if you don't go out there and play like a maniac, you're letting down all your teammates that have been here all week, trying to work hard for you and making it so if you're a safety, I can't tell you how much impact that defensive line has on your ability to succeed. Just like Khalil Mack. I mean, that guy is amazing. And even when he doesn't get in, you know what? He's got guys trying to grab him and hold him and tackle him. I mean, every play, it's amazing. It's like he's like a beehive. Guys are just, they're over there grabbing him, hitting him. He's an amazing athlete. I mean, and when he first got here, of course people knew what he was, but I think that first year, man, he was like unstoppable because it was all one-on-one. He was beating every block you could imagine. I mean, he had the moves, and it gets right back to what you guys talked about. It's an attitude. It's, I played with a lot of great guys that have had great attitude, great athletic skill, but they didn't have that desire. They didn't have the attitude, I guess is what I'm saying. And, so when you ignite, that sort of an attitude with skill, you have a Khalil Mack. When you don't have that incredible athletic skill, you have Doug Plank. Now, am I fun to watch running around the field? Yeah, I am. Am I going to run down their fastest receiver? No, not going to do that. Am I going to, blow up their? Well, I got Earl Campbell. I'll tell you that.
You did.
I had something planned for him. I watched him very carefully, and I just noticed, I'm going to strike him where he doesn't want to get hit, right in the very central part of his body, but down. And that's what took him out of the game. His private parts were damaged, and he's still a heck of a player. I'll tell you that. He came back, and he still racked up a lot of yards against us. But
you showed no fear in anything, and it really goes back to what you're saying there. It's like an attitude. It's
totally
a lot of times you saw Coach Nagy, he bubble wrapped his team during preseason. You saw the new CBA with tackling not being allowed. We only could go live tackling on full pads on 3 times a season. 3 times a season. Can you imagine? You're only going live 3 times a season in practice. So your head coach, who's never been a head coach, decides we're not going to go live in games, in scrimmages or preseason games, whatever you want to call them. That was a huge mistake. I know I want to get into Nagy, but I would be remiss if I don't get into him right here. But I want to talk about Halas because nobody's had an experience that came on this show meeting the old man. No one could talk about him better than you as a player. You've coached, you've played, you've coached at the NFL level as well. I know you were the assistant head coach with the Falcons as well. And you have a huge, immense story. So what was the old man like in regards to George S. Halas? What was he like?
You know what? He, when your team is playing bad, the ownership, there aren't many people in this league that could walk down there in a team meeting room, walk in front of everybody else and give them 20 minutes of a butt kicking. And that's what we needed. Because most times, owners are afraid to get in front of teams, because half the guys look like animals in there. They're big, they're strong. And George came down. I remember one time after we had like a 6-game losing streak back in around 1980 or 79. I can't remember which one. 6 games. I mean, oh my God, it seemed like 6 years. Every game, every week, it just kept building up like, man, we got to win. We got to win. We got to win. Mm-hmm. When it gets to be 6 losses in a row, you never forget it. I still remember it. I still remember coming to work, like what a downer it was. And, was there false enthusiasm going on? You bet. I was like a megaphone every single day, trying to encourage everybody and yelling and screaming. You know why? Because I didn't want to lose again. And, sometimes, the ball is just going against you. Sometimes there's games where you're either winning or losing by a lot of points, and then the tide starts to turn. Now, you can't see it on television or in the stadium. On the field, you can feel it. The momentum has changed. You can tell it's on the other side of the field now. I don't care what the score is. You're down 21 or up 21. It doesn't matter. Because when the other side gets it, look out, man. They're not giving it up. And what happens is when everybody gets engaged, all the players that are on the field, man, any team, I don't care whether it's the worst or the best team in the NFL, they're going to be a monster to deal with. And, when that happens, look out. And that was the 85 Bears. I mean, that was a team that was not only great, athletically, but mentally. And there were so many teams, that I played with in the 70s and 80s. They were good football teams. How can you have Walter Payton on your team and not be a good team? But you know what? You can't keep running Walter every play. Run him left on first down. Run him right on second down. Throw a screen to him on third down. Oh, and then we're going to punt. Well, Walters can punt. They should have had him punt. He was a great punter. Quick kick. He could do everything. Throw the ball, catch the ball. It's like I remember a couple times, when the offense was going on the field in the 70s when they were really, really, really bad. And the defensive players, as we were coming off, they were coming on the field, and we were saying, hey, guys, please hold them. Don't let them score. That meant because, you know why? We were always throwing interceptions and fumbling the ball, and they were scoring touchdowns against our offense. And it was so demoralizing. I mean, for our defense to really, I think, play really well, not pretty good, and then, go out there and not have any points by your offense with the Walter Payton. Yeah. I mean, it was just amazing. And so
that's the story of our life, Doug. That's the story of our life as a Bears fan.
We never have seen an offense.
Listen, I'm not trying to make predictions right now, but I do believe that the current core of players on the Chicago Bears right now, offensively, this team is going to be much more productive. They're not going to be the Bears of old going back to the 60s, score a touchdown or two, and then the defense comes out, oh, yeah, we're rough and tough. We're going to beat everybody up. No, who wants to watch that anymore? I don't.
Exactly.
I despise games that are 3-7, 7-0. I feel like, man, why did I even come here today? Why did I watch this? This wasn't even a practice. I've seen better practices than some of these no score or low scoring games. And
oh my God,
I really believe, despite the Chicago weather and all that kind of stuff, they're going to score some points this year, and they're going to give their defense a chance. There's nothing like coming on the field as a defensive player and you're down 21 points. What are you going to do? Tell me, what are you going to do to change the game? Well, you can run around, hit a couple linemen, or the quarterback or whatever. But you know what? They're just going to run the clock out. They're already hit 21 points. We can't score any touchdowns. So why would they want to try to turn the ball over or anything? And it was really demoralizing. And that's what made, the 80s so much more fun. When the team got better, they scored points. And certainly this year, I truly, truly believe, that they're going to score points, and it's going to be a much different atmosphere.
Is that because they got some Ohio State in there?
Yeah, I think so. Hey, listen, you know what, everybody? Listen, I'm not a gung ho Buckeye guy. I support Ohio State. I've had a lot of great people there. I met my wife at Ohio State. Hey, listen, I got a red shirt on right now. But you know what? My first day at Ohio State, I tore my knee up. I tore an ACL and an MC the first day. So, that's done. I come back my second, sophomore year, and I do get in a couple games, at the end of the year because of an injury. And then I sit on the bench my junior year, and then I get in a couple more games because of another injury. But then I'm on the last game of my career. We're at the Rose Bowl playing USC, and I'm on the bench again. And I ran down on 4 or 5 kickoffs, and I thought that was it. So,
it's an amazing story.
It's not like I felt like I got treated. They treated me fine. I just think, I could have played more. But, as the way it turns out, when you really, really play hard and you try to hit everybody on the field, maybe take a year or two off. Because all the concussions and injuries you're going to have, hey, listen, they all pile up. It's like, there's a reason why I had to replace both my shoulders, because when I hit somebody with my head, everybody slid off to my shoulder. And, so it was,
let me ask you this, though, off of that. You're not even a starter in college, and you get drafted in the 12th round by the Chicago Bears. What was that? What were you doing? And what?
I'll tell you what it was. I was sitting on the bench, and right before we were playing Northwestern that day in Evanston, which is a northern suburb of Chicago. And I just thought, okay, I got another, rundown on some kickoff day. That's what I'm gonna do. That's where I got this mentality initially. Run down on kickoffs. Listen, I don't care who you are. You run down on kickoffs, you're going to get your butt kicked. And get your butt kicked one time. I always had to have something happen to me first. I wanted somebody to knock me out or knock me off my feet. You know why? Then I really, really started playing. I was always playing at a high level, but I needed always some encouragement. Somebody to whack me or hit me or something like that. Then it was all over. Then I lost it. And so I'm running down on the kickoff. Then the guy in front of me gets hurt early in the game, like the first series. So I play the rest of the game, and I have a couple interceptions. I made all the tackles on the kickoff team. I forced a fumble, and I led the team in tackles. And every year, every game at Ohio State, they chose they called it the Buck of the Week, which is the Buckeye of the Week.
Right.
Guess what? I won the Buckeye of the Week against Northwestern. Now here's what happened though. It didn't matter because the kid I was playing for, he got drafted in the first round a year behind me, and that was Tim Fox. And Tim was going to play. I don't care. He wasn't going to sit on the bench. So the next week after winning this award, getting my name up on a plaque with my picture, and they gave me a little baby trophy, like a participation trophy. They go, Doug, thank you very much. Go back to the bench. You're on the kickoff team. That's where you belong. And so the next week I'm running down a kickoff thinking, man, it was fun while it lasted. Never thinking a Chicago Bear scout was going to be at that game. And that's how I eventually got drafted by the Bears.
Do you think that contributed to your mentality moving forward, though, Doug? Just, getting your chance and tasting that and just wanting it and craving it even more?
Oh, my gosh. It was. Just to get the feel. That Ohio Stadium was like huge. I mean, there's over 100,000 people in it now. There was like 80 when I played. Man, they yelled and screamed even when you did bad. I mean, it was like so much encouragement. It's hard to forget that. You know, you come out on the field, they're just yelling and screaming. Chicago fans are fantastic also. You know, people in college, you know, it's just a different atmosphere. You know, they feel more loyalty. Maybe some of the people in the stands have gone to that school or they know somebody, you know, where NFL is more like, hey, show me what you got. You know, let me see what you're going to do this week. You know, are you going to play hard? Are you going to hit people hard? You know, college was more of a participation angle. The NFL was all serious. I mean, it was truly not for long. You know, you got there, man. I was shocked at how you were able to hit people, how late the whistle was. In college, you know, if you ran on the ground as an offensive player, they kept blowing whistles like crazy. That never happened in the NFL. You could trip and fall as an offensive player and be on the ground. It didn't matter. There was no whistles. And Woody, our head coach, used to tell us, go until you hear the whistle. Go until you hear the whistle. I'd crank it up. And if I didn't hear a whistle, I'm sorry. I'm going to go hit somebody. A lineman, the running back. And everybody says, man, you're a cheap shot artist. You know, you're hitting everybody. I go, well, did you know 3 out of the first 5 years I was with the Bears, I was the least penalized player on the team? I mean, how are you going to call me a late hitter? I'm the least penalized player. I'm an example.
You're just a physical player.
Be like me. Don't get any penalties.
Love it.
Oh yeah, it was fun. But you know, you're absolutely right. I mean, you can't have a memory early in your life and not have it impact you in whatever you're doing. And there's no doubt in my mind the fact that I was sitting on the bench, you know, never getting a chance to play. It made me a different person. And I always felt like I was a pretty nice guy. But you know what? After I got hurt that first day at Ohio State, man, nobody was going to come near me. I wasn't going to let anybody, because if you're going to come and try to hit me, we're going to have a big collision. And hopefully you're going to be going down.
Let me ask you this. You brought up Walter Payton. I would be dropping the ball if I didn't allow you to speak on him, especially now that our audience, especially a lot of the millennials that have never heard of you, or just now your passion is just jumping off the screen for them. And if you're listening on the podcast, we also can show you on television. Mr. Doug Plank is as fiery as me, I would say, when it comes to this game. So when you prepare and you're across the side, obviously you talked about Earl Campbell, but what made Walter Payton in your mind as a football player that you are from the bottom, basically playing special teams against Northwestern, get you drafted? Is your story here. You're a freaking a legend. You look at what you were able to do. Now in your wallet, you might not be as a legend as you should be, but the reality is you have a story to tell, and one with Walter Payton. To me, he's the reason I'm a Chicago Bear fan. So what was it about this man that made him so great in your eyes?
You know, we had a 3-day mini camp. All the rookies, Jack Pardee was our new coach at that time, and he conducted a rookie camp, mini camp for 3 days, because he just got hired in 75 too. And that was my rookie year. So everybody got together in Florida, NFL free agents, draft picks, but none of the team came down, none of the veteran players. So we just managed to get like an offense and a defense. There were like 25 guys there. And Walter Payton was our first round draft pick. And we stayed in a dormitory down there, and they put everybody by alphabetic order. So of course, Doug Plank, Walter Payton, I was his roommate down there for 3 days. And really all through the first training camp, you know, way back in 75 until the season started, you know, then he later became better friends with Roland Harper, you know, another free agent. No, 17th round. 17th round. 17th round. How about that?
Oh, wow.
I mean,
that's crazy.
Roland Harper was a gutsy player, man. He was, but, you know, Walter asked me a question the first day we were down there. You know, we practiced, then we came back, and this was, you know, in between lunch, we'd go back and just lay down until practice started. And he said, Doug, I have a question for you. He goes, why didn't I get any consideration as the Heisman Trophy winner? Well, of course, I played with the only 2-time Heisman Trophy winner, Archie Griffin, at Ohio State. And I think I told you guys this before. And I said, Walter, I said, in just 2 days of watching this guy, I mean, he was amazing. He could throw, he could punt, he could kick, he could catch. Oh, he could change direction. Then we went in the weight room, and all they had down there was at this small college in the weight room was a universal machine, which is like a piece of equipment which is all connected, and you kind of go around it and you do different exercises, bench press, overhead press, pulls, stuff like that. Walter Payton went around this machine. He maxed out every single little pin, stuck the pin in. Walter Payton, he maxed everything out, and he did it. He did 10 of everything. I mean, watching this was amazing. And when he was grabbing those bars, that machine was scared because he was shaking the crap out of it. And boom, boom, boom. I mean, I thought it was going to fall apart. I go, this guy has incredible power. Not only does he have a great attitude, and even like that 3-day mini camp, I can't tell you how many guys he ran over. I mean, God. There's a density when you hit different people that I ran into. Earl Campbell was in a world of his own. When you hit Walter, like I did a couple times in practice my first year, just because before we even knew how great he was, we knew he was a first-round draft pick, but he became great early in those years. I'm serious. It was like hitting a cement block. The density was like, boom, just like that. You stopped. I don't care how fast you were running. That's why you're not showing me hit any Walter Payton practice plays, because I just went boom and went straight down. I mean, this guy was like concrete. And
oh man,
players have different densities. And when he was running and he toned all his muscles up, he was devastating. That one play where he runs against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh my God!
Seen it 1,000 times in my life.
Even when I played on the Bears, I never sat on the bench. As soon as I went over and got a drink, when we came off the field, I
gotta go watch.
Stood on the sideline going, I want to watch the Walter Payton show. And I got a big kick out of him just abusing other defensive players, because he was just run over them. I mean, forearm like nobody I ever saw. I mean, it just, that thing was like so hard, and he brought it up so fast. You didn't see it till the very end. And then back then too, people say, well, you weren't allowed to spear anybody, Doug. What Walter Payton was, he was always bending over people, putting his helmet down. And when he put that helmet down, he brought so much power. I can't tell you how many players I just saw him run over. Just, I remember watching him hit a linebacker, a really, really good all linebacker, an all pro. I'm not going to say who he was. Hit him in the chest, knocked his helmet off, just blew the guy up, ran over top of him, and then he ran over 2 more guys until he finally got down. It's like you had to grab a hold of him and then go for the ride, because he was going to be something spectacular. And you know what? He was a humble guy, very quiet. You know what? I'm just so glad I didn't have to play against.
Oh man,
I'm glad you're sharing the story, because he was the reason football and the Chicago Bears are me. And my dad was a head coach for 33 years. I love the game, but I remember the moment like it was yesterday. I was in 2nd grade going into 3rd, and he said, "What do you want to play?" I said, "Running back." He's like, "Well, let's watch these guys. You tell me which one." And that was the first time I saw Billy Sims, Tony Dorsett, Frank O'Hare. I saw all these guys. And mind you, my uncle was the head coach of the Browns. My other uncle was coaching with the Jets as special teams coach. So I had all these affiliates. My dad was a Giants fan at that. He loved Bill Parcells. And I said, 34. He goes, "That guy plays for the Chicago Bears. His name is Walter Payton." My loyalty to the Bears that day forward was because of this man. To hear you talk about that gives me goosebumps. Was he the best player you ever played with or against in your mind, honestly?
Yeah, there's no, you know what? No doubt. And plus, he wasn't not only the best, but he was the best in terms of his effort and his focus. I never saw Walter have a bad game. I never saw him come out. To play at that level, I can't tell you what you ask of your body. I mean, you have to go like out of body. You're like, I don't care what happens today. I'm going to smash into people. I'm going to run him over. I'm going to use my forearms. I'm going to use my helmet. I mean, he was a battering ram, and literally we hardly had anybody blocking for this guy. I mean, I'm not trying to criticize our line.
No, it's true. It's the true story.
We ran such a basic offense. I mean, what is Walter going to do? I mean, he goes in motions. 3 guys go in motion. And let me just touch on one story here. I know how bad he felt in the Super Bowl, not being able to score a touchdown. But you know what? Jim McMahon was right. After the game, and even years afterwards, Jim lives out here in Arizona now, so I have plenty of time to talk to Jim. Everywhere Walter Payton went that game in the Super Bowl, 3 or 4 guys were going with him. He went in motion, 3 guys would go with him.
Yeah.
Now, could they have maybe tried to give him the ball down there? Yeah, they could have. They were trying to win a Super Bowl. I mean, now I know that they, started getting leads and stuff like that. Maybe they should have tried to do something in the second half, be creative, try some trick play or something, but who wants to try? You're winning the game. Let's say you got momentum.
Right.
Is there any coach out there wanting to take a chance and say, okay, we're going to run some wacky play, crazy play that never seen
Matt
before?
Nagy or Mike Martz, one of those.
Yeah,
Mike
exactly.
Martz or Matt Nagy.
Yeah, you know what? And I feel for him because he was truly, truly a great player, and he was Mr. Chicago. But at the same time, I'm not saying I played in the Super Bowl. I didn't play in the Super Bowl. But, I think playing in the Super Bowl, that would have had, I didn't need to have a safety. Like, if I would have played in the Super Bowl, I wouldn't have needed an interception or a tackle in the end zone, for a safety to make it, oh my gosh, now I really feel complete. Now I feel like a real football player. Hey, man, just getting out of the field and running out there with your teammates in the Super Bowl, that would be quite a thrill.
We have our nerd here, our Bears nerd here, Mr. Matt Carstensen. We call him Cars for sure.
Much simpler to do that. And I have to tell you, this is a huge honor for me because when so you mentioned the '85 Bears, I had a tape that had every game short plays, right? And I watched that end on end. And you were my dad's favorite player because he didn't care. If we could have seen him running around, he didn't care. That's how you play football. And then the one year I got to play football, he's like, please don't play like him. Your mother will kill me. Right? That is basically how that happened. But, so this is really cool for me, but I'm really curious. You mentioned hitting Walter, and you kind of came up in almost this glory era of running backs, right? Just some household names, some big names.
Yes.
Who are the guys that, obviously Walter being, but who are the other guys that were the toughest for you to kind of hit or run against? Because we don't see guys these days fighting for extra yards, right? They're all bouncing outside and going out of bounds. But you were in the era no, I'm getting 3 more yards regardless. So who would you say are some of the other tougher ones that you had to face?
You know what? Really, in our division, there were some guys that were good running backs. I think, I was leaving as Barry Sanders was coming in. And, he certainly was one player I would say was very hard to get a hold of. Number one, very quick, accelerates, change directions. He certainly was a factor. As I said, Walter was such a compact package. And you thought, okay, that this guy doesn't really have much until you hit him because, he was so determined. And, that's one thing. Another guy that I'll just say what really, really surprised me, I'll be honest with you, and I'm not trying to make a criticism of or anything like that. I just thought that he had kind of been over the hill. Larry Zonka. And
Wow.
I ended up
Okay.
running a game.
Syracuse.
There was a playoff game in New York in the sleet and snow and ice that, we played against those guys. I'm sorry, it was last game of the year. We had to win it to go and play Dallas Cowboys in Dallas, which we threw 3 interceptions. I won't even tell you who was quarterbacking. You know what? When you're in a game and you throw 3 interceptions, you're probably not going to win. But anyway, so
right, pretty much.
We're in the slush bowl in New York. Larry Zonka, oh my gosh, he was an absolute nightmare. Now, he wasn't real fast. He wasn't real quick. He wasn't changing directions. He was saying, I got the ball, like Earl Campbell. Here I come. And I'm going to bring my knees up real high. And he just, that day we had no footing. You're on ice and slush. And I got to tell you, that was a nightmare trying to tackle him. Freezing cold. You were soaking wet. We got there. The game was raining. And over the course of the first half, it went from rain to snow and wet snow. And you were soaked. And you were soaked, and you were now on snow and ice. It was one of the coldest experiences. The only thing I can imagine, like jumping in the Atlantic Ocean in the middle of winter. That's what it felt like. I mean, you were just incredible.
Oh my God!
Running backs. I'm just trying to think. I know that. I'm just trying to think. The one fullback from the Washington Redskins.
John Riggins.
The tall, not a big. John Riggins.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
John Riggins.
I mean, he was somebody you just didn't want any part of. Because he saw you coming, and he just didn't really care. I mean, I'll say another guy that's been kind of controversial that nobody really likes or has any respect for. But I got to tell you, playing against him a couple times, I was very impressed. O.J. Simpson.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He was breaking tackles. He was fast.
Hall of Famer.
He could change directions. Hall of Famer. Especially towards the end of his career at the 49ers, I caught him there, and I remember there was one play over by his bench where they ran a sweep over there, and it's one of those deals where there's a blocker in front of you, and he has a choice to make. He's either going to go inside or he's going to go outside, and so I was coming up from the inside, and he didn't even see me. He decides to juke around the guy out by the near the out of bounds. I never stopped. I ran full speed, and he came around that blocker. Boom! I just hit him, blew O.J. Simpson off. You know what? I just laughed because you know what? We won that game, which I was happy. But you know what? There's certain things in sports, like hitting a home run, like scoring a touchdown. For me, on defense, it was like the big hit. The big hit was like adrenaline and cortisone and whatever the new drug is, that you smoke that cures your body.
Smoke weed every day.
You gotta drop that smoke weed every day.
You push your head up. You saw the body. You saw the body flying, and it was hilarious. It was funny because there was a couple of running backs. Archie Griffin being one of them. He played for Cincinnati. We played them in a preseason game, and the starters only started for like 10 minutes in preseason games. So I go in there, and of course Archie Griffin's playing on the other side. Well, they weren't very good at that time, and I go, you know what? I would really like to run full speed into Archie at least one time. So they called it. Buddy called it defense where I was filling on the inside. I wasn't playing deep third. I was a deep linebacker. I took off running from 10 yards. They gave the ball to Archie Griffin at the line of scrimmage. I knocked Archie's helmet off. The ball went flying, and Archie landed on his back. And after the game, he goes,
"Love it,
Doug. I thought you and I were friends." We had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun together at Ohio State.
I bet.
Listen, these guys want me to hit everybody now, Archie. Sorry, I can't.
Doug, did
I don't even know it was you.
Did Earl Campbell have anything to say after this one?
The center is really a good one. Here's a handoff. They go the other way.
He didn't tell me.
Doug Plank hits him, but you pay when you hit the Earl this time.
You had the radar locked at a very specific place on that tackle.
We call that targeting
Honestly,
today.
You know what? And here, they didn't try to. Yeah, I mean, you're not. Who's going to hit Earl Campbell high? The week before, they played the Denver. I told you guys, told the story. The Denver Broncos, and he came out through the line of scrimmage, and a defensive safety from the Broncos, Steve Foley. You know, he was about 5'10", weighed 185. He hit Earl Campbell, and Earl Campbell blew him up, and he went flying backwards like an umbrella opening up, like get ready for the rainstorm. And his arms and legs went like this, and he landed on his back, and he never moved. And you know, normally in football footage, they show that play, and finally Earl Campbell got tackled 12 yards down the field. But no, what they did was their film crew kept filming. They kept filming this Steve Foley on the ground, laid out with his arms like this, and they showed the cart coming out, and they put him on a stretcher and put him in the back of the cart, and then rode off the field. And Buddy Ryan in that meeting said, turn the effing lights on. So he turned the lights on, and he stood up. And he goes, anybody in here doesn't want to play this week, tell me right now, because I'll get somebody else to play for you. And he goes, turn the lights off. And everybody went, ooh. Then you knew, you know what? Whatever if you decide you're going to step on that field, you better give it everything you got, because, Buddy is not going to forgive you. And yeah, they were just great memories. I mean, you could say it was a great memory getting embarrassed, Doug. Well, yeah, it was actually kind of funny in certain situations. But you know what? Everybody was trying to, once that happens to you a couple times, you realize now whatever you do on this field, it's going to be reviewed in front of all these men and coaches the next week.
Yeah, you want to be the highlight.
You do.
Doug Plank ain't going to be a highlight next week.
You want to be the hitter, not the hittee.
Exactly.
You want to. It's funny. I hit guys so often. Sorry about that.
You're hitting the phone.
Your phone.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
I know. I'm getting so excited. I hit guys so often, so many times. When I somebody can go up and make a tackle, that's a good play. But my coach would be honest on the play, because he said, "Look, you hit that guy. You didn't need to hit him." I go, "No, it was blocker. I had to go to the blocker to the running back." I couldn't convince him. He just said, "You're way too wild out there. You're hitting people you don't even need to hit." I go, "Listen, that's what it's all about. The more times we can hit them, whether it's the running back or whatever, it's going to add up. It does. The fourth quarter, I tell you what, if you're physical with another team, it makes a difference. And, towards the end of the game, I tell you, there was many times those guys just wanted to go in the locker room. They didn't want to get hit anymore. They were done with it. And even though we didn't score very many points, I don't think there was any teams in the NFL that were anxious to play us.
Well,
no, it's real quick, because it's funny you say that, because you gotta, for the people who are younger, you have to understand back then, like, we see guys right now 500 pass attempts all the time, but you talk like that 78 team, Harper and Walter almost had 600 carries between the two of them, right? Like, the game was way more physical.
Crazy.
Totally different.
It's so different. So, like, normally the question would be like, who's your favorite wide receiver to hit? But they weren't throwing the ball. Like, they were throwing the ball as like almost a gag. It was like, we're going to run. It's old Pee Wee football. We're going to run left. We're going to run right. We're going to run center. And we're just going to get 3 yards and a pile of dust. So it's such a different game. That's why it's so much fun to go back and watch that, because like the guys are bigger and faster now, but like the big hits are still from like that generation of football. Yeah. And that's like, because guys didn't care, like not didn't care, but we're like, forget it. I'm just going to leave it all in. I don't know how long I've got. I'm just going to do this. I'm not making business decisions. I'm going to go destroy this guy so he doesn't ever do that again. And it's a fun, if you get the chance, go watch it.
Yeah, it's honestly, you hit it exactly right. And you know what? Here's the other thing. When you're practicing like that on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, day. You take your day. Oh my gosh, you don't even when you step onto the field, you don't even have to act like aggressive. You're aggressive.
Exactly.
You're going to be attacking people. And
that's what's missing with the
CBA.
CBA.
You knocked somebody out on Wednesday, and it's like you practice what you preach. If you do it over and over and over again in practice, then I don't even have to try to excite myself on the weekend. It's like I step onto that field, I feel this like rush coming over down my toes, my ankles. It comes right up my chest. It's like, oh my gosh! It's like an extra surge of this oxygen in your lungs, and you're like, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't even want to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
There were times I just like to tune people out. Everybody's different. Some guys like to listen to rock radio or disco or whatever they wanted to listen to.
Disco ain't around anymore.
I don't want anybody hearing me. I'm sorry. Even my friends, I just said, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm in a zone right now, and it's not a good one. I don't want to be around anybody. And because you just have to be ready to go hit somebody, not just one time, but over and over and over again. And it's hard to do that. You just think about it right now.
It's an attitude.
You like to run into a wall.
Exactly.
Probably not that many times, even with a helmet on.
Yeah, to play off that, hitting somebody over and over and over again. They always say, the great heavyweights have one big punch left in them. If we could get you some shoulder pads and a helmet, we at TTNL Network would be willing to fly Greg Braggs out to Arizona. We'll put him in your front yard, and if you could fold his ass in half, just unload on him like you did with Earl Campbell. You can radar, midsection and just unload on him. We would love to see
Jared
that.
Allen in Jackass and what he does to the Jackass guys, Phil will throw the pass, leading him right into you perfectly, and if you could just lay him out, that would be must-see TV.
Oh man!
You know what's funny? You think about it all the time. Today there were two situations. I forget what they were. One I was driving, one I was walking. And I was trying to imagine hitting somebody at that time. And you know what? I did this all the time when I was
I would
walk down the street, maybe Chicago, I don't know, maybe a suburb, and I would pretend, man, wouldn't it be nice to hit this guy right now? He doesn't even know I'm coming at him. He's just walking by me. I could blast him and knock off his feet. I don't know. I mean, why? I don't know why I had those thoughts. I don't know.
You're a violent man. You're a legend.
It was hard to shake it.
You're hard to shake it. No one could shake you. I mean, if you didn't see the intro, if you're just tuning in now, Doug Plank, former Chicago Bear great, the legend, number 46. His namesake is the 46 defense. He's joining us tonight. I know you're generous with your time. I have one favor to ask you before we let you go off the hook tonight, because we need to get you back on the show, because I got a lot more to ask you about Coach Nagy and these Bears, but I want to see how the preseason goes. But can we get you?
I agree.
Okay, perfect. And then can you do a station ID? All you have to say is who you are, however you want to say. This is former Bear number 46, Doug Plank. You're keeping it 100 on the Tape Never Lies Network. You're keeping it 100.
Oh my gosh, you got so much for me to remember. You know how many brain cells I have?
I've tried.
Probably more than we do, Doug.
46 when I wake up.
All right.
Hey, at least you're not trying to be advertising the Cobb Quickie. Did you see that yet?
Oh, please
This
don't.
invention here is called the Cobb Quickie. Hands down the easiest way to butter your corn on the cob on a hot summer day.
Aaron Rodgers is now the spokesman for the Cobb Quickie. So we need our Doug Plank, whatever you want to say. This is former Chicago Bear Doug Plank, keeping it 100 on the Tape Never Lies Network. You ready? You're keeping it 100. Think of that as like the tackle. Yeah, okay. Listen, Akeem Hicks, it took him, 9 takes? Claudio, did you meet Claudio yet? Have you met the barber? There he is. Claudio, it took him
What's
101
up,
takes.
Doug?
101.
You can't do Chris Zorich.
Smoke weed every day.
No way.
Zorich had an issue too, so you'll do fine. Don't
Chris
worry.
Zorich, yes, it took Chris a lot of takes as well. We'll isolate on Doug. I hope his internet
He's
is
freezing a little bit there.
I know, it's the worst, these internets.
Okay, it's going to be introduce myself. You said keep it at 100.
On the Tape Never Lies Network. You got that part written down?
Okay.
That's the network.
If you screw it up, we're gonna find you 10 grand.
Is that right? That's pretty cool.
There's hope, guys.
I came up with
You
it.
want me to say keep it 100, tape never end, right?
Never Lies
Never lies.
Network. Or you could say TTNL. That would be good too.
That'd be
That's easy.
Phil's rant never ends. That's a different show.
Hold on. You're isolated on Doug. Poor Doug. Where did Cars go? That's got to be Cars' cat hitting a ball around or something. That noise that we heard. I know it was Cars' cat. Can we get verification?
Mute. So no, that would not be.
Yes, it is you. Because right when you came back, I hear a little bell ringing.
There's no bell here.
Who's bell? Every time an angel gets his wings.
Seriously?
Or what? All right, you ready,
Well,
Doug?
Wow. So it's Doug Plank. Introduce myself. 46.
Yep.
Keep it 100. Keep it 100. Tape Never Lies Network.
Yep.
There you go.
There you go.
That's it.
Is that it?
You
Great.
ready?
Okay.
3. I'll count you down. 3, 2, 1.
Hey everybody, this is Doug Plank, number 46 defense. Keep it at 100 at the Tape Never Lies Network.
We'll take
There you go.
Yes.
There you go.
One take.
One take
Great job.
plank. One take plank. They're gonna call you, Doug. I know you're not as active on social media, but are you doing play-by-play and stuff? Where can fans get in touch with you?
You know what? It changes every week. I'm on a network called the Sports USA Network.
Okay.
And they're located in Los Angeles. They do NFL games, syndication, and they have 2 broadcasts every day, but every week is different because they don't compete with other NFL broadcasts. So if they're doing the first game on a Sunday, any other team that's doing the first game in that network, in that hometown, they won't broadcast. That doesn't mean we can't go there. We can go broadcast the game, but not in that, not in Chicago. If I was going to Chicago for the early game, we could broadcast across the country, but not in Chicago or the affiliate stations.
I got you.
If that
I
makes
got
sense.
you. Yes, it does.
Every weekend it's different. Every weekend. And,
So we got to follow. We got to follow.
We pick up any games they want. So,
Yep.
We got to follow our guy Doug Plank. We're gonna bring you back on.
Get you information.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can keep.
Oh, he got.
Oh, we lost him.
We lost him. Hopefully, walk the plank, Doug Plank.
Unbelievable.
Greg Braggs. I know he's in the chat. We got to get Doug's information that he's talking. Hopefully, maybe he signs back in and comes on. I know
if he doesn't in the next few seconds, Greg, just text him and thank him from.
If he has to bounce.
Yep.
We truly appreciate the legend. Check out his book here, Walk the Plank, on Amazon. You could buy his story. I hope he comes back. Yeah, he's back. Look at him.
He is.
He comes back. He's like Sylvester Stallone in Rocky. He's right there. He is.
Yes.
We were just promoting your book here. So finish up because you broke up and kind of froze there on where we could follow your play-by-play and your passion for the game.
Yeah, you know what? It's there's a website. It's called Sports USA Media, and you can go on there. There's introduction of the broadcasters, the play-by-play, and the analyst, and it'll each week it'll give you a schedule of the games that are coming up, the games that they're doing. And so, that would be one way of finding out. I know our company loves to go to Chicago as many times as possible to do as many games. But, the Bears are always a high sought after, even though their record isn't that great sometimes.
Right.
They're still a huge team in demand across the country. So they're always on a national broadcast. So, but sometimes I just can't tell you because each week it's roll the dice. They're in different cities.
Yep.
And sometimes I'm doing like last year, 4 games early in the year I'm getting ready to do the game. They call me Saturday night. Hey Doug, the game just been canceled. And
oh, jeez.
So I got to get on a plane, come back to Arizona, and it was. But I understand it was the virus, and it just you had to deal with it and cancel games and all those sort of things. But this year should be a lot more consistent, and it's fun. It was really amazing though last year going into those stadiums with no people. I mean that was
yeah. I can imagine.
It's surreal.
How much the crowd does it deals with the game.
Oh yeah.
How much impact it has. And
well,
it was
you had such an impact on us. I know I can't thank you enough for your time. We're definitely going to have the chat room. Yeah. There's over 200 and some people listening live just in the chat. Then they'll be downloading this on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, as well as all the podcast streaming. It's Keeping It 100 on the Tape Never Lies Network. Doug Plank, the legend. We're going to have him back. He's going to break down what he sees before we kick off opening night, Rams versus Bears. I want Doug Plank's analysis of what he saw throughout the preseason. Did Coach Nagy do the right things? Did Nagy make a competition at the quarterback? All of these things, Doug Plank has lived it. If you don't understand what this guy means to the sport, let alone the history of the Chicago Bears, then you're living under a rock. You're not only a great football player, but more importantly, Doug, you're a great human being. And that we need more of that in this country. I didn't even get to talk to you about some of the other stories with Vince Evans and stuff that you talked to me about. And I really think our fans, our passionate fans who are all about the truth, would love to hear those stories next time you come on the show. So God bless you, Doug.
Thank you,
I
Doug.
really appreciate you and your time tonight.
Thank you so much.
God bless you.
We'll do it again. We're going to do it again.
Yes, sir.
Looking forward to it.
We're already locking you in with Greg. Greg, our associate producer on the Brags in the Stand show. God bless you, Doug. You're the man.
Thanks, Doug.
Doug.
Love it.
Doug Plank.
Imagine Doug and Olin in the front office of this.
To that, we'd
be contenders every fucking year.
That's why
you can't talk to players the same way anymore. Like you can't.
Well, he can.
Behind the scenes, you can. Yeah,
he can go into some player's face. Yes, he could.
Yeah.
I can't wait because cut this, Caden Whitlow, and remember this: Doug Plank could change this whole culture that we see. I call it the pussification of the Chicago Bears. Olin Kreutz and Doug Plank will change that around. There is no doubt about it. I know it in my heart that
just the intensity that he speaks with, man, it's amazing.
True story. Intensity. I put the promo out cars today. How many former guests like retweet or share our show? Today, Olin Kreutz not only shared it on Instagram, loved it on Instagram because he respects the fuck out of Doug Plank. I know I can't swear when he's here. I tried. Did I do good? Not so. A couple swears. I wanted to respect that man, but Olin had so much respect for that. Speaking of respect, I know we got to get some respect, not Diana Ross or the Supremes, but respect to this man coming in from Canada for a special announcement. Yes. And the reason why is this. If you're not a patron of this network, you're missing out. If you love the game of football like Doug Plank and stories like that, you are going to want to be a TTNL patron. And what is that? www.thetapeneverlies.com. You go over there for $7 a month. You are going to get instant DVR access to all the X's with the O shows, draft mob, analysis of all the draft picks, undrafted free agents. It's all there on the private side of our YouTube channel, as well as our app, our patron app. And this show is very special to me. And I don't mean just this show. I mean the network and this show right here. X's with the O's is with my dad, who had nothing but respect for Coach Doug Plank, who was a coach, by the way. This is X's with the O's, and then we're going to bring Alex in.
Ladies and gentlemen, class is now in session. X's with the O's.
X's with the O's. This Saturday, we're going to be breaking down Demir Bird and Marquise Goodwin. We're going to be looking at both those receivers. What do they bring to the table and how they do that with Barlissimo, our boy George Bayless, and my father, and someone's tea.
Somebody in a steam room.
Holy steam. Is that you, Alex? Or is that Claudio's blunt?
I don't know, Phil.
Holy sh! I felt like Thomas the train engine was coming through in Canada. I didn't know what that was, but
what up, Alex?
What up, Alex? Hey,
you know what? Like, seriously, guys, how do I follow up after Doug Plank? Come on, like,
you have to yell.
You're setting me up for failure. Like, no matter what I say, and after that introduction to Phil, like, yeah, okay, there goes my steam.
Well, your steam came in hot. So, talk about what we're doing. You actually came up with this idea. I'm leaving on vacation for the first time, July 25th.
Happy
Shayne's
birthday.
I'm going to be like, happy birthday, Shayne. I'm going to Punta Cana. Although there was an assassination in Haiti today of the president. So my father called me tonight. He's all worried, Alex, about us going.
Different countries.
Wait till they find out the DDPs in the area.
Haiti and Dominican Republic are kind of like Connecticut and Montreal, so don't worry about it.
Did you upset the Mexican cartel, perhaps, Phil? Maybe that might be part of what is happening. I'm not
episode of this show.
That's an entire show.
That's an entire separate show. So July 25th is Armando's birthday as well, Shayne. You share a birthday. My birthday's July 21st, and that's why Alex is here. I'm leaving. 10-year anniversary. My wife is my best friend. I don't say that. I say it privately. I lost friends because of my relationship and closeness with my wife because I'm not at the bar bitching about.
Sorry.
But the reality is, to catch you up, I'm going to be going away. We're raffling off to help my dad, who does the X's with the O show, and he's going to, obviously, you know him from Bears Hour Live. So we're going to be doing some football analysis live on BHL this fall, which will be free, live with Barlissimo and me and my dad, breaking down with Shayne a big play in the game, so to speak. So we wanted to get my father. He's watching tape on an iPhone like this. Legitimately, this is how big it is. It's the iPhone LE cars, I believe. Is it LE or
I've never even
SE?
heard of that.
It's
SE.
like
The SE, that would be the minimum.
Yeah, so he's
the word I can't say one. Yeah,
it's so small. That's what she said. And we wanted to get an iPad for him, so we're gonna raffle off. Alex, go ahead. You take it from here. You've been practicing probably. This is Alex H.
I kind of wing it like you do, Phil. So first of all, obviously, let me say that being part of this community and being part like a Patreon member, I know it's I'm not here to sell, but honestly, guys, for those of you who are not members, you really don't know what you're missing, because I think not only do we have a forum here in this community to share experiences and learn from these amazing guys, I think I'm at the point, and a lot of the people that I've in touch with actually are at the point where we want to take it to another level, and we want to start giving back to Phil, to Shayne, and to everyone who's given us so much over this time period that we've been with them. So, you know, obviously one of those people is Phil's dad. Love the guy. He's so authentic. He's so the image of this network, and he'll never, I think, ask for it himself. So I think it's on us as socially responsible people who participate in this amazing forum to do something about that. And that's where I come in, right? So to your point, Phil, you know, when we said that I came up with this idea, actually Logan Frost came up with this idea, but as soon as I saw it, I'm like, okay, this feels right. It's right. It's something we got to do. So on that note, I've obviously been working with you guys to set up the details for that. I will say the details at a high level right now, to start off with, is, you know, there's really two ways you guys can help Phil's dad get what he needs. And by the way, not only is Phil's dad going to benefit, but if we get enough funds, Ryan Cox and his kid who has fighting for cancer is also going to get any funds as well that exceed whatever amount that we get. So it's a win-win for everyone, guys. You know, and some of you may or may not be able to participate the way you want to. Some of you may not want to be in the raffle because you don't want to be on the show and replace Phil, because basically Phil, everyone's replaceable, but you're kind of close to not being replaceable, right? So it's a hard act call, right?
Strongly disagree.
Fair enough, Cars. Fair enough.
I don't think that room was big enough for his head now, bro.
There you go. But that being said, you know,
Claudia.
the important part, guys, is that we as a family, right? It's not in community.
Yeah, this is what it's about. It's family. Right? You guys reached out to us and said you wanted to do this. Logan came up with it.
Yep.
And it really means a lot to Shayne and I, because, you know, everything we're getting is putting back into the network, and we're trying to do something special here. And it is family. And we were just going to buy this for my dad, but we thought, let me let you finish it. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No worries, Phil. So, you know, to that point, I think it's important for everyone who really would want to participate, because we don't want to force anyone to participate, but anyone who wants to participate, there's really two ways to participate. So the details are in the bottom of that rolling screen, but it's basically ahazy@yahoo.com is my email address. The telephone number down there, you can text me if you have any questions or concerns. I'm really going to be running the raffle. So you can either donate, and that donation can be whatever amount, and I do have a PayPal account. So you guys, when whatever US funds you send over, and then those funds will be book-kept for Phil and the crew, so that everything is transparent, guys. I'm not here to do otherwise. I'm just here for Phil's dad, and hopefully, if we get enough support, and I really think we have everyone in here the capacity to be that guy, to be that person that says, you know what, I'm contributing to something that is bigger than the sum of our parts. This is bigger than all of us, guys. And this is just the beginning, by the way. So we're not going to be hitting you up every week, but you know, when something comes along, I think it's, as a family, we need to stick together and do something about it. So getting back to my speech, so to speak. So donations, but obviously the raffle. So the raffle is basically structured as $10 US. It gives you 3 participations or 3 tickets. So when that confirmation comes into the funds, I will send back to whoever contacts me the ticket numbers that you will get. Those tickets will be available for the raffle until July 17th, right? Allow me another day to kind of get back to whoever. And then the draw happens on the 21st. The raffle
live on the show here. It's going to be, that's my birthday show.
Exactly.
And we're going to do it live. And
nobody needs to bring presents.
Don't bring presents. Just honestly, I want to just butt in here and say this. No, you know what? You guys, it means a lot. I don't give a fuck if like 12 people decide they want to do this. This is family. Again, I go back to the moment Shayne said to me about the network name is because of my dad and football. I told the story to Doug Plank tonight, and you got the story of Walter Payton. Cars probably was in tears. I was emotional in it because Doug, I respect the hell out of, but to hear him talk about Walter Payton, That's what this network is. So if you throw $1 in, it's just going to benefit the network.
And everything helps, guys.
That's it.
Everything.
And everything that goes above the whatever,
Yeah.
what is it, 8th generation cars, whatever that.
Again, my assumption, Phil, is obviously as you always have, right? Not just the tape never lies. You don't ever lie. So when we have those amounts, I don't see a problem with at a high level saying, guys, you know what? We got the phone and we had this much left over, and it's been sent to Ryan or whatever.
It's going right to Ryan Cox and his family.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, breaking news, Shayne, we have an update on Ryan Cox, who is 100 Crew. If you're 100 Crew, you know this. We're going to be live, keeping it 100, live at Soldier Field for the Chicago Bears Green Bay Packers game, ready to meet all of you. That's what this is about. Ryan Cox and his family have been going through trials and tribulations. And when I say this truthfully, there's so many things that needed to happen for this network to be. And Ryan Cox is one of those guys that's always been in my corner, has been in Shayne's corner. You know, people will play nice on tragedy and they show it on social media. Hi, we wish you so much. Well, and then there's other people that do it privately and that love you and that will go the extra mile. And I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about Ryan Cox. And Ryan Cox doesn't need to put a post out there about how much he cares about us. So that my father, family, TTNL, Ryan Cox's family, anything extra is going to them. That is the story of this fun summertime promo.
Phil, to play off of that, just to update everybody, you know, we have Spencer Strong, Spencer Cox, Ryan's son, yesterday had an MRI and everything is stable. And stable in this instance is excellent news.
Spencer
that's what we want.
Awesome.
We don't want it going the other way. So it is. It is.
You know, everybody has a story. Gary Williams and his father and the flood. Everybody needs help. Everybody's going through something. This isn't like pick and choose, but we're doing this special to put it all together as one family. And if you can't afford it, doesn't make you any less of a fan. Please don't even take it. That's why we said it was you guys, Logan and you all, and Bullets, you know, saying even if it's a fucking $2, it's going to a good, everything's going to be transparent. We're going to have a lot of fun with it. And the person, if you don't want to, but you want to donate, you could say that to Alex as well. Exactly. Say, listen, I don't want to be Phil for a week. I don't want to be on the show. It's a great cause and it's to benefit the family. That's it. Everything will be laid on the table. We won't tell you who paid what, but we will make sure, you know, you're given to cancer, but is it going to cancer? This is going right to the network, to the plate, and to this family. And as Shayne shared, it's great news. And I'll say this. I know I could take over a conversation and what have you, but I don't know. God gave me a gift of words, and I might diatribe here and there. But I do want to say this.
Here and there?
Yeah, here and there.
I think we just had some
break.
Phil might
had some breaking. I might diatribe there, here and there. Did anybody look up what diatribe was?
It means rant.
Yeah.
So there you go. So I'm gonna rant at this. I love people. I can't help it, and I don't tolerate bullshit to the underdog, like David Montgomery and so on. You know the stories. So there's something embedded in me that I can't shut up when I know somebody doesn't. You know, Cars is an expert in computers and stuff. So if somebody's giving a speech, I don't know Cars, and you know it's wrong. Are you going to speak up? Maybe in those forums you can't, but in football you just have to do it. And a verbal attack. I don't know.
There you go, Phil.
There you go.
I often feel assaulted in these conversations. That makes a tremendous amount of sense. Yeah.
But this is coming from people like Alex H that I've never met. And I really do like.
Thanks here, Phil.
Like, for example, let me say this. My fucking house got struck by lightning. I went on, we got out of power, and I just was ranting. Like, fuck, got hit by lightning. And so many people cared.
It was the Mexican cartel.
But it was
Take
like,
that
wow.
as your warning shot.
We don't blow smoke, right? Bullets and really.
I reached out to you privately. Did Greg?
No, Greg did it on social media.
We don't blow smoke. We just blow transformers. That's about all.
I don't know. In Connecticut, Phil, in Connecticut, July 1st, we do blow smoke now. So.
Hey, you know what? You know what, Phil? Greg, listen. I know you're out there, Greg. And by the way, I don't know if you're a Patreon member or not, but you know what? If you're going to contribute, well, then if you're going to contribute, you need to like double of everyone. Because
He's not
you got to make up for lost time, Brad.
Bragg's
Nope.
not
Let's
in.
go. Bring it. Bring it, Greg. Bring it.
He's not part of this. No.
I think Greg will donate to this special cause. He's a great dude.
Yeah,
he can sell one of his TVs he's got in his living room.
Look, he said it again.
You gotta know, Greg. Phil and I were talking to him today. He goes, "You guys don't even realize I have to check into a security gate to get to my new house now."
The troubles he has.
Alex, I got to give you props, man. You're a big Montreal Canadian fan, right?
Yeah,
and you're doing this right now when the Montreal Canadiens are playing.
I'm with Alex on this. I'm a Habs fan also, so I'm refreshing just like Alex is.
Yes.
Alex
that says a lot about you, Alex. For real.
Let me say this about Alex. He called me up. He wanted to come on the air to talk about this, and he said something very special to me because I get these emails and I read it, and people and those fucking trolls are like, "Yeah, right. You guys are jerking each other off." But Alex, this show. This network, there's some of you, like a group of you, this means everything to you, right? Talk about that real quick.
So, I'll just say this, Phil. I've reached out to certain Patreon members. I don't know if they want me to name them, but there's about 10 or 15 of us, and we're already forming a coalition, so to speak, to keep in touch, one, two, to see if there's anything that we can do to help out the network. And that's one of them. HL, my brother. Yeah.
There he is.
I mean, yeah. So, I mean, and
but you don't have to name him, but you said it's a true family. Like, say what you want for Braggs. He could joke around. I think he did say this to me. I'll paraphrase it, Alex. He said, say whatever it is you want. Phil and Shayne, you guys know how to embrace people. And I really believe that, Greg, as smart or as dumb as you think he is, it really formulates like the mission statement of what it is we wanted this show specifically to be. It's about having fun, but also including the fan and you and family and creating this environment where the fans recognize. That's why I can't, if somebody's on the show, pick a guest and says something that everybody knows that Shayne is against or Phil's against, and we don't say it, then we've done a disservice to you, the fan, the heart and soul of this. And I'm glad you and your crew, and I see the conversations on the side. You guys are, we've made people be friends. My father, real quick, last thing I'll say and I'll shut up. My father had always said this about me. He said, we've met more people because of you than we ever did because of me and your mother's relationship. It was just something you would go over and meet people. It didn't matter where they were from, what nationality. And all of a sudden they're our friends there. And we met great people because of that. And that's where his surround yourself with good people is. And that's where this network is going to always be, or I won't be a part of it. I'll walk away. Seriously, that's how. And I love Cars, and I love Claudio. As much shit as we give all those people, we always say if we're not doing it, it means we don't love you, and we love you, Alex H. I know I was blown away when you guys approached me with this.
That's why we're not talking about Jackal. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, he's already like, let Alex, speak. He's saying.
we do.
Let the man talk.
We do have a little bit of an update here.
Exactly, you got my back.
We do have a little bit of an
Let's
update.
Keeping It 100.
A little bit of an update.
Breaking news. The Tape Never Lies Network. Breaking news.
That may be
that is an actual voicemail from Greg Brex.
That might be the most intelligent thing he's ever said on a podcast, hands down. Hands
Oh my God. I couldn't make out most of it, but
that's why it's so yeah.
I just want to make a comment, guys, really quick. Can you put that comment back up from Trent?
Okay, I'll put it back up. Go ahead.
So I think the key here, kudos Trent, and it's been said all along, but the key words here, it's good people. And yeah, we have a common thread. Yes, it's a therapy group. That's how it starts off. But as you get to know the people in this therapy group, you find out it's more than therapy group. It's just, who are these people? And that's what, again, Phil, as you've included, we have to take care of the people that take care of us, right? Like who puts out the fire for the firemen? Who protects the policeman that protects the public, right? And that's, you guys have been giving us so much, but who gives you stuff, right? So that's where the place that the group that I'm starting, or we're starting, I should say, not I, are coming from, right? And guys, honestly, you have my email address now. If you want to be part of that,
bring that banner
more
back
intense conversation. If you want to be more than just a guy or a girl watching a show, reach out to me. Because that's how it starts. And we are a family. We accept everyone that's there equally, fairly. We don't pretend to know more or less than anyone. We're just there to all be together and all move towards a common cause. And that's just doing better, like being better people, being better, like helping the community. In this case, it's your dad, Phil, right? And it could be someone else another time.
Yeah, it's gonna be somebody else another time, because I know me and Shayne, and I know cars, and I surround myself. I'll fucking get rid of the fat real quick. Ask anybody. We keep it 100 here. I get disappointed when people put themselves first. I'll tell you that right now. When I see Alex Acevedo out there in a fucking hurricane helping out, that guy is on my fucking team. That's the reality of the truth, and that's how we're gonna roll. I don't sugarcoat shit. I learned a long time ago I fucked up by not being me, and I let my ego get in the way, and I paid for that, and I've never hidden from it, although other people hide. They hide, and they fucking talk. And there was a quote. This week my wife shared. Shayne, I saw you liked it, and it's about friendship. It's those people that you realize are applauding you. I love. They just aren't trying. You realize those people that. Remember when the coach was talking about the closed doors, Coach Reinebold, whispering. I've been around the whispers. I don't want those motherfuckers. Yeah, you know it's over. Everyone's backstabbing, looking for a place to hide. I've been around, and listen.
It's our year anniversary from getting away from that.
I've met my best friend at Shayne Marsaw. I didn't know him for 20 years. I remember the day I talked to him on the phone for the first time. Steph was laughing. Like, are you nervous? Then I met him for the first time. But the real recognizes real. Trent sent me a great email, but I know we're not talking football. We're talking family and life. And if you don't like that, I get it. Skip. Jacka will give you the fucking tab so you can skip to the next. But the reality is it needed to be said because we're about something bigger and better here. And there's so much time that I'm going to rant. I'm going to break down the tape of who sucked and who's great. We're going to do that. We're going to get to football in a minute, but this needed to be said. And Alex H took the bull by the horn, and you need to be applauded, sir, for going out there. So, Alex H, I appreciate you.
I can't top that, Greg. Sorry.
Yes, I don't want
I
you
don't
to
think
top
anyone
it.
can.
Contact Alex H. If you're listening on the podcast, it's Ahazi. That's AHAZZI at yahoo.com.
Like has he gotten the message yet? That's
No.
how you pronounce it. Hazi.
Oh, that's how you pronounce it. I'm trying to spell it, Alex,
That's
for
okay.
those listening.
No, it's okay. Just phonetically, it's Hazi.
Just
There
be
you
happy Phil didn't have to find it on a map, Alex.
Yeah.
That's all right. I'll
I
just
have
ask
no
Jerome.
idea.
I'll ask Jerome.
Jerome.
There you go.
Jerome, I love Jerome.
I haven't seen him.
I'm so
tonight.
proud
How
of you.
close
we
are
miss you
Haiti
tonight.
and the Dominican Republic, Alex?
They're right next to each other on the same fucking island. I know that.
While we
See?
have
In
everybody
the Caribbean Ocean.
No,
Yeah, while
actually,
we have-
they're separated by a pool, Chris, aren't they?
They are?
Yeah, like a big
Separated
Olympic
by
pool.
what?
Olympic
No.
pool.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
just
Bust
kidding.
the balls now.
While we have everybody here, our former
Yes.
quarterback got married. Do you guys have any comments on that? And I see this was popping around.
Mitchell
Trubisky.
Trubisky got married.
Good for him.
There was
Yeah.
no reception, though.
Hopefully, his aim is better
that
with
was the
her
joke.
than with his players.
I don't know,
That's
he's
what I'm
in-
saying.
Jerome's here. See? Jerome, my
There he
homie.
is.
There he
Jerome.
Me and Cool
Yeah,
Kennedy are making a song about
Jeremy,
that for the
Good
season.
for Mitch, though, man.
I see Ryan
good for
Cox
him.
in the house. I feel like Romper, remember?
Those aren't
Ryan
pillows, Greg.
Cox.
Oh, planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yeah.
That's
Listen, if you want to be on the show for the whole show, or if you just want to donate to some great causes here in your family, the TTNL 100 crew on the best Bears show on the planet, as we always say, contact. He's taking PayPal only. PayPal only. I'm sure we could figure out a Venmo if you have it. Shayne could help out, or Chris Jackal. in that
Contact me
department.
first, though. Let me be
make
the filter.
sure.
Let me be the filter for Shayne. So
There's going to be
the
no.
one-offs, I'll
There's going to be
contact Shayne
other
for anyone
prizes too, Alex.
Yeah.
There's going to be some TTNL swag.
else. That's what it's getting to.
You're going to get a.
I mean,
okay,
Shane
go
can
ahead.
take the 2 a.m.
No, sorry.
emails. He'll be
Yes,
up then.
Ali
It'll
will
be
be
fine.
Shane.
So
Shane's
So sorry.
always up.
Shane is always up.
Yes, he is.
courtesy of Emerson.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fun
No, but
guy.
listen, just really quickly. So to finish off, so obviously when the draw happens, Natalie will be here next to me to actually draw the winning ticket. Now, I haven't spoken to you about this yet, Shane or Phil, but I was thinking that people can still participate in the raffle. If you don't want the grand prize, but you want the merch, let me know on the side. And if we happen to pick your name, we'll put you as, oh, you didn't get the grand prize. So let's say, Chris Jackal doesn't want to be on the show. Fine, we'll put him for the merch, right? And then we'll redraw for the grand prize for someone, let's say that didn't have
Really
the merch.
wants to be. Yeah.
Yeah,
Smart
so
Alex.
that's not a problem.
Jackal
So
wants-
if
Jackal
that makes you
wants out?
nervous, that's not a
Fuck outta
reason. So that's not a reason anymore. Love it, Shane. Love it. Oh, you're the best.
Well, listen.
But
Go
so again, just to
love
repeat,
you,
it's $10. You get 3 tickets. I'll send you the ticket numbers. Once all that's compiled, I'll send a master sheet to Phil and Shane so they know transparently everything that's happening. And I hope, and I don't even hope. I actually know that we're going to do really well because I know what our community is, Phil. And I know you're kind of being more conservative about it, but in my heart, and my heart is singing right now, I know we're going to kick the shit out of this raffle. So
There you go.
Ryan Cox, you better get some room, back up that Brinks truck and show up to Jalen Ramsey's house going, this is what fucking money looks like, bitch. Okay? That's how it's going to go down here.
There we go.
Let him know. Let him know.
We will try to get
didn't
one
know
of these.
Canadians,
Invention here is called the Cobb Quickie.
Try to get a Cobb Quickie in the raffle as well. I think.
Is that
we'll have
another
to
prize?
We'll have to do some do your research, Jackal.
We'll send Greg Bragg to
Please
your house
not
and
too
he
much.
will butter your
Just
corn.
send Greg the link.
No, we actually want people to buy the raffle tickets, Shane.
Yeah.
Let's not offer that as a prize.
Golly, what the hell is going on?
He's got a big following, though. I mean, I think he broke 70 views last week on the show. So
I love him. Leave him alone, Tony.
Oh,
Anyway,
bring him.
Thanks for having me on. Really
Thank you
appreciate
so
the
much,
opportunity that
Alex.
you've given me. Guys, let's kick ass. You know, like some of my colleagues on the side have told me, let's kick some ass. Let's do this. Like I said, if you have any questions or concerns, the thing on the bottom there is going to tell you how to contact me if you need whatever. I'm available as much as I can be. I do have a job during the day, so between 7:30 and 4 weekdays, I may take some time to get back to.
You're not just sitting at home all day like Phil and I are, just waiting.
Well, actually, I am
for the
sitting
show
home all
next
day
week
because I'm working from home. But yeah,
we do not do that.
I cannot believe how many people reach out during the week and they're like, "Oh, bro, I just thought this is what you did," and I'm like, no,
maybe someday,
Yeah.
hopefully, that's what we're working towards. So we could just do this every day of the
We're
week.
not fucking barbers making that barber money.
Barber bread.
Exactly. I wish I was.
$70 kid cuts.
Just going off like that. Let me ask you.
Let them know, Claudio.
I don't know what you're talking about, bro.
Me neither. We're just making stuff up.
What are you talking about?
There's no script.
All right. Alex H., reach out to him and help out the network in that way. We totally appreciate you, Alex, jumping on, being a great sport.
Guys.
It's going to be a lot of
And
fun.
by the way, I'm going to go to sleep, but I'm not going to do the usual chat sign-offs. I'm going to do it live.
Go
Much
ahead.
love to all the TTNL family. I'm actually going to shout out, and I hope I don't forget anyone here. Really quick, Logan, Cam, Bullets, HL, Bear Truth, God, Rick Riggs, Levine, Bear W, the two Canadian boys, by the way, on this network. Other than
What?
Yeah, what? Oh, Angelo.
Claudio,
You know what? I'm so
Raja,
glad you brought that up. One more thing. I'm going to stop the shout-outs because, and sorry, guys, if I didn't get to you.
Real quick.
But real quick, Angelo, Gummy Bear Challenge, bring it.
Yeah.
I'm in. So what about Alex? No, that's what we're going to start saying. What about Alex? And when Angelo shows up for the challenge, and if he does, good luck. If he doesn't, well, what about Angelo? Oh, well.
Angelo may be in the witness protection
Canadians,
program.
I'm
so
telling you,
we'll see.
man, we just don't take the cold, we take the heat too.
There you
You
go.
may have to come north of the border.
Alex, have you ever been to Mexico, Alex?
Yes, I have.
Nice.
Yes, I have.
You
Puerto
know-
Vallarta. I actually have a cousin that works down there.
Oh, nice.
Strangely
Yeah, it was
enough,
their own
Phil,
shop.
myself,
real quick,
Jackal,
What those gonna be
Claudio, and Cars were all heading to Mexico together.
there
Yeah.
you
right.
go.
Special.
A
secret
special show
TTNL
live from Cancun. It's
You
coming.
know what? Mexico's all good, but if you want to go for the heat, just go to the Carolinas, get some Reaper, and there, you're going to get some real
There you
heat
go.
there.
There you go.
No, we've got some connections in Mexico
Some
that
Reaper?
we've got to go visit. You know, some close connections. We've just got to go check in on, make sure everything's okay. So we're gonna double up while we're down there.
Yeah, we're all gonna head to Carolina and show up on Ryan Cox's doorstep. I'm sure.
There it
His
is.
Lovely.
All right.
wife would
I'm calling
love
top
that.
bunk, Cox, just so you know.
I'm bunking
Top
with
bunk
you, Cars.
is for me.
Now that I know you're sick.
Hey, cut it out. What are you talking about? There he is.
Hey,
His
we
special
brought the
segment. He's
segment
finally
back.
doing something.
We
Cut
talked
that
to
joke
him.
out that we-
We
that
talked to
joke
him about
we
it
just did,
last
cut it
week.
out.
We talked to him about it last week. So, Claude, what is it? Go ahead.
What's that?
What? Your segment.
Guys, just really quick, I gotta go. I gotta.
All right,
Alex,
Awesome,
take care, guys. Love you guys.
Alex, you're the man.
Hello to Natalie.
Later, man.
Alex H 100 crew. Contact him.
We play Claude's
Hey,
intro, and he's like, "What are you talking about?"
Who,
Yeah,
me?
no, I didn't have a cut it out. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh,
Hey,
my
But I
real
do
quick,
We
have.
talked about it for like 10 minutes last week.
10
on the show.
minutes.
There's hope, guys.
All right.
There is no hope for Claudio.
Well, I think this week's cut it
Jackal.
out is
Jackal.
Claudio
Is
himself.
that it? Wait,
Jackal,
are we
did
doing?
not
Are we
talk
doing the?
about it live
we
on
doing
air
the
with
read?
Claude last week?
Yes,
Are
we
doing
did.
the read?
Yeah, we did.
You
Yes.
really don't. You don't remember.
No, I don't. I don't
Oh
remember
my
at all.
What? I don't.
I will have to go back and edit it
No
and put
clue.
a tab in there for
Hey
us.
Claudio,
so
I
we
don't
can-
know if you know this. They say sometimes weed gives short-term memory problems. I don't know
I've
if you're
heard.
aware,
I heard that. I have heard that.
but I don't know, Claudio, if you've heard. Weed
So does
sometimes
rubbing your
gives you
corn.
Short-term.
This invention here is called.
Claudio was supposed to do a segment. He forgot, but he is going to do something else, Shayne. Isn't he?
Yes, that's what I thought you were talking about. So here we go. Here we go.
Well, let's set him off like this.
Here we go.
I don't give a fuck that he smokes weed. They all smoke weed.
Smoke weed every day.
There he is.
Cool. That's the old school drop.
Let's isolate on him specifically.
Please do that.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
This is him. If you love this part of the show, you know this show, Keeping It 100, is sponsored by Manscaped. Claudio is going to do the read tonight.
They might cancel their sponsorship after this read, but here we go.
Here we go.
No. So wait, summer's coming? No. Summer's here. Are you ready? I didn't do that, Manscaped.
You don't kill our
Manscaped.
sponsor like
It wasn't me, Manscaped. That was Shayne. All right. So, are you ready to unveil your beach bod? You're in luck. Our friends at Manscaped just launched their 4th generation performance package, which includes the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right. 4.0. Complement your summer bod with a trim from the leaders in male grooming. The sun is shining and calling your name, fellas. Join the 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and get ready for hot summer fun by going to manscaped.com for 20% off free shipping with the code KI100. All right. So listen,
Oh my
if
God.
you ever saw something about Mary and Ben Stiller has that shot where he gets those nuts, stuck in his zipper. You don't want that feeling on a regular clipper. You want the Manscaped 4.0, right? So here, I'm going to demonstrate right now.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Jesus. Don't you
It
dare.
says it in the read to demonstrate. All right.
Jesus.
All right, so it's time to bundle up with the Manscaped Performance Package 4.0. Inside this package, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, weed whacker, ear and nose trimmer, crop preserver, ball deodorant, crop reviver toner, performance boxer briefs, and travel bag to hold all your goodies. You get all of that. Come on. Fucking unreal deal right there. First off, the new Performance Package 4.0 includes a new Lawnmower 4.0. How many times do I got to say 4.0?
Don't complain about the read during
This
the
trimmer
read.
is insane, and I dare you to say the GOAT of ball trimmers. Say it. Go ahead, guys. Say it.
Of ball
GOAT
trimmers.
The GOAT of ball trimmers.
It is. Look at that. Look. It's
If I
sweet.
actually got one sent to me, maybe I would know. So
You can use mine, Claudio.
Their 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 has a 7,000 RPM motor, a new multi-function on-off switch with the ability to turn the 4,000K LED spotlight on and off when needed for more precise shaving. Did I mention this trimmer is waterproof too, and it's a 4.0? Did I mention that? In the shower or in the wild, and from your chest pubes all the way down to your ball fro. The lawn. Thank you. I've been trying to get that drop in there. Thank you. The Lawnmower 4.0 is the best trimmer for you. Want to take your grooming game even further to the next level? The Performance Package 4.0 also includes a weed whacker to chop your worst weeds up
This
top in
invention
your
here is
nose.
called the
Who's doing
We're
that?
going off the rails.
The weed whacker is also waterproof and uses a 9,000 RPM. I'll say it again in case you didn't hear me. 9,000 RPM motor power 360-degree rotary dual blade system. This nose and ear trimmer provides proprietary skin safe. You didn't think I was going to be able to say that. Huh? Proprietary technology, which helps prevent nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate holes. Seal the deal.
Smoke weed every day.
Seal the deal. Seal the deal with Manscaped's liquid formulations before heading outside. Use crop preserver ball deodorant to keep you and your game in the heat. Then after trimming the lawn, and whacking the weeds in
Twist
the heat.
convention here.
Let him get.
I think let me get through it. I haven't read this much since fucking high school.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's like it's white girl crazy, dude.
I didn't think he could read, to be honest.
No, I didn't think so either.
You're failing
Manscaped even
miserably.
threw in 2 free gifts to the Performance Package 4.0, the Manscaped Boxers, and the Shed Travel Bag. Bring your comfort and boxers to another level. So,
There you go.
is that? All right.
There you go.
Oh,
Claudio.
There you go, Claudio.
Bravo.
Good job, Claudio.
Thank you.
If you were
I
Leno,
did
you
better
would have given
than I thought I
yourself a
would
B plus.
I felt it was like Phil reading a globe, right?
Well, wait, to keep it 100, you guys sent it. I literally just read this for the first time, so I didn't even get to.
You got 2 hours
It
more
no
notice than
didn't
I
show.
did, dude.
It didn't show at all.
It didn't show.
It was like a pure.
I think I
pro.
only mispronounced one word in there, so I think I did.
Shayne just sent
Manscaped.com.
it to me and said, "Go."
Put in
that's
the
what he did to
code
me.
KI100, 20% off plus free shipping, all included. The KI100's the key. That lets them know that you are watching this show and you're.
We do
buying
have a
their
before
brand.
and after.
Yes.
4.0. Yes. If you are not using a 4.0, you will look like this. When you could look like this.
There you go.
Oh,
That's our
There,
man.
Soldier
Look at
Fields.
Do you know that guy's our quarterback? By the way,
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody
That's
else
4
has
years.
heard that. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The moment never gets old when Cars jumps on the scene and says, the Bears are trading up. The Bears are trading
Bears
up.
are trading up.
What we have to see this in order to embrace it once again.
Steven Johnson's reaction is very, very underrated to that.
Yes,
because he doesn't
Cars
react
is a
initially, and then
distraction.
he's like, "What?"
Yes, he has like that kid finally got a free fucking Whopper.
Yeah.
He's like, what? That fat kid. You gotta watch. Let's watch Cars on. This is live now. If you're new to the show and the network, you missed this. You got to go back and see the draft coverage. But here it is.
Reporting quarterbacks still on the board. It's time for one to be traded up for.
Here we
Chicago's
go.
trading up.
Yes.
What?
Oh my
Here
God.
it is.
Chapter just reported.
Here it is.
Oh, baby.
Let's go. Here we go, baby. Come on. What?
Look at Claudio stuffing his face.
We
in
got-
the-
I was just gonna say, my fat
One
ass
of the
eating
other
in the back.
underrated parts of that night was Steven right before they were announcing. He's talking about the chat. He's like, shut it off. Shut off the chat. He wanted nothing from the fucking chat, and he didn't want the news early. He just wanted to see where it was going. And then I think it was Jackal that was putting was it you, Jackal?
Yeah.
Cycling
Jackal
through the
was
pictures.
doing
I'm like, get that shit off
Oh,
the
yeah.
fucking screen.
Listen,
But yeah,
it was a moment.
I still
obviously-
go back and watch that. Like if I have
Really?
30 seconds of my time, I will take that clip and just watch it because it still makes me happy.
It's
awesome.
One of
Yeah,
the
it
greatest
was a-
days, man.
It was one of those moments that this network, I mean,
100%.
Caden
Pick
Whitlow and Ronnie G, two of our new additions to the TTNL house. Maybe we can go back at some point and put together some greatest moments of 2020. Well, now that was technically 2021, but
All we have to do is
Off
just
season.
string every intro to every show together, and that would be
we should
we
play
get
that
to the
back
One
to
massive
back.
copyright violation.
yes.
Oh,
that would give us
Just be blank
186 consecutive hours of intro.
That would be the best thing
For the last
that you
8
come-
months.
Just a live open show. It just keeps playing the opens. I
Yeah.
like that idea.
Yeah, we'll
just
do-
one day.
We'll do that the week that you go on vacation.
Yeah.
We'll
There
just
you
play
go.
intros
We'll have
all
The
Bragg
week.
whole
and
show will
those.
just the whole
Everybody
show
will be waiting for the show to actually start, but it
Yes.
never does.
It just continues to roll, and the trolls get all mad.
Wendy
I
will be
love it.
like, I thought they were on vacation. How is he on the show?
And it will go for the entire week until you get back. It'll be really nice. the way that will
24/7
work.
loop. It just keeps playing.
No, we're very economical, my family.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You better spend some fucking money.
I think you got a few guys you might want to be a little less economical with in your past there.
So we've talked to Doug Plank. We've talked about the TTNL family. We've talked about Patron. Let's just wrap this up before we get to everyone's favorite segment, shout out segment.
We're gonna get into the football real hardcore here. Starting. I mean, it's we talked about it leading up to this, Phil. You know, you and I talked about it a little bit on the phone the other day, and it's gonna be here in the blink of an eye. I mean, camp opens up on the 27th. These days seem like they're running in, you know, with each other anyway. And then once football is here, it's gonna be ramped up that much more than with the quarterback talk on top of it. I mean, Jesus, the Bears announced the training camp schedule today, and it just speak on that real quick. The ability to go to one practice.
I just found that out now.
Yeah.
So once it came out, guys, I sent it over to Greg Braggs, Mike Tenorelli, and a few other guys I've just texted it to see if they're going to get over there, and then to find out, Shayne, what is it technically saying, guys? Cars, you're there.
It's because they're only doing 1,000 folks during the day, right? So they're doing it to max 1 so that more people get an opportunity to see it. But like, these aren't even going to be real practices. It's not going to be like what you used to see in camp. It's completely switched up. So you know, I don't know necessarily that you're missing anything either by not being able to go to more than one day. It's kind of like a glorified family fan fest kind of thing that you get to see the players and do a little interaction and not much other than that.
Well, that's something that, you know, my childhood was going to these training camps, and you really, for the guy that can't afford the fucking ticket, that guy's family can get up close and personal for free with the players. There's nothing in the game, I feel like. What is this show? What is Alex H coming on here talking about? Family. You, as an organization, owe it to your fan base and your family to allow that moment for my son Tate to reach out and get a fucking wristband from his favorite player, David Montgomery. Shayne's son to shake Roquan Smith's hand. It's fucking ridiculous that you've moved this training camp to Hallis Hall and you've become this corporate shit. The old man is rolling over in his grave.
Yeah, I mean, the move there was inevitable. When you saw the expansion, it was inevitable. But to restrict the fans,
I agree.
It's hard for you to come out and say, our campus is so much bigger.
Amazing.
We have, you know, so many more acres and all this access, but we're going to limit this end of it to like what Cars is saying. I mean, it's you know, even the family fest at Soldier Field, it's never been a
whole lot of nothing
practice. Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Windy City Twins and HL Pre, they don't care about us. They care about the no autographs yet, but they'll gladly welcome you paying for fucking $400 for a ticket. That's against what this stands for, the Chicago, in my opinion. Something needs to change.
They could build the biggest fucking fan shop you've seen anywhere and allow access. And that fucking Cars, how long would that fucking line be to get into that place?
Yeah, I mean, look, next year it'll be different. It'll be different next year, right? Like the thing is you still have to understand this. Well, and the specter of COVID and having to worry about whatever you feel like, right? Like they're still taking that impact seriously. The whole reason the autograph stuff is happening, it's all part of it. So yeah, next year I don't think these things are going to be as restrictive, and I do think the fields will be part of it. And it's unfortunate because like Phil, to your point, we went up every summer to Platteville, right? Like I watched multiple of these. Like I got to sit down and watch Matsui, right? And Walter and do all of those things growing up. I have such big memories of that. And in the years since, it has all changed so much. And I could go on an anti-Daniel Snyder rant, right? Because his ownership has really been a catalyst for a lot of these weird training camp changes throughout the league. But I will.
Carter,
wait
stop
for
right there talking about Daniel Snyder with the throwback helmets that the NFL is going to.
Yeah.
What do they do in Washington?
They get sued, I think is what happens. They get sued, and that's about it. That's all that happens.
No,
but yeah, so
I
it'll
agree
be
with
changed
you.
in a year.
I hope you're right. I hope. Where's Gary? Every time I say hope, I think of Gary Williams. I hope you're right because I really believe that is where the game. I remember those people telling me, well, one day this game won't be as great as you think it is or say it is. And I go, no fucking way. And I always was right. But now there's this luster, that part where there is that separation, that closeness that you can touch, that you can see Matsui and Walter Payton and, whoever, your guy, Curtis Conway and Olin Kreutz. Big Cat Williams.
Awesome. He was always so awesome.
Exactly. You had that moment where you can actually, I remember, again, I'm going to Jets training camp because that's where I went. And Mark Gastineau just went down on his knee, and he was as fucking tall as me, or taller than me, as he's on his knee. And I have this picture. I got a bowl cut and everything. I'll fucking show it on the show. But that moment I'll never forget. I caught a pass from Ken O'Brien, and I'll never forget that. Jeff Blake, but that was older at that point. But you had those moments. Willie McGinnis, when he was with the Patriots, I remember joking with him, asking him about Curtis Conway. What do you think? That was the year Curtis got. What do you think of Curtis Conway? He's like, oh, that's my dude, man. He's got some speed, man. If someone could get him the ball, you're having that fucking thing that you don't get anywhere else. So it's unfortunate. It really is. I know I don't like hockey, but I guess the Tampa Bay team has won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
So
I'm a Habs fan. I'm with Alex on that, but man, Tampa is
they're a different beast.
They are amazing. They're
I have no
Tampa's
idea.
killing it,
again
man.
next year.
Tampa wins the Super Bowl. They win the Stanley Cup. The
Yep.
Rays are doing good. Tampa's fucking where it's at. Right?
Brady played great in goal tonight.
Yeah.
Logan Frost washed Curtis Conway's car.
Can
I
we-
loved it. I was trying
Can
to
we talk
in
about
their
soccer?
deep leg,
Can we
Logan?
talk about how Italy is in the finals against?
No.
Okay,
No.
so now
What are we doing?
By the way, though, if Curtis Conway does not get enough love in this franchise for what
Okay.
he did. He
Totally
and
agree.
Jeff Graham and that
Oh
Eric
my
Kramer
God.
offense. That
Can
was
we-
still the best offense
If
we've
they
ever
even
seen.
if they
That was
even
the
had a
best-
mediocre defense that year, they were going to
They're
make
going.
some fucking
Yep.
A.
that was
They're
the
going.
best offense I have seen, and that includes there was that glimpse, and Josh McCown had that glimpse,
Yep.
and
Yep.
Jay Cutler had that glimpse when he got injured, as Shane brings up all the time against the
But Phil,
Chargers.
you talked about this specifically, and then Numbnuts from Sports Mockery jacked it and wrote an article about it with Eric Kramer. Yeah, Eric Kramer in the deep. But that's really the last time that you can go back and saw a consistent deep ball hitting the guy in stride was Eric Kramer, and that's
And Jeff Graham. Jeff
He
like
knew how to do it.
Yeah,
I was at
exactly.
the Packers-Bears game when there's Brett Favre threw 5 touchdowns that day. Eric Kramer threw 4. And Eric Kramer hits Curtis Conway with 30 seconds to go in the half on a deep ball, and he outrun. I'm the only guy in the section jumping up and down, and those fans were awful to me. But that year Kramer could hit those balls, and he knew how to attack the seam. So he
those
made
guys
those.
averaged 16 yards of reception. Conway and Graham were both, I think it was like, or at least close. They were 16 yards of reception. Our leading guys now are like 10.7. Like it was a vertical passing game in Chicago.
Oh, but even with it was Eric Kramer, man. I know his story is tough, and we need to talk a little about Tim Jennings,
Keith Jennings.
Raymond,
Keith.
Keith, 85, number 85. Remember when he caught the touchdown? against the Miami Dolphins from Curtis Conway on a fake field goal. Oh my God!
I have that game on tape, Phil.
My cum is yellow.
Oh God!
Oh boy!
That's a drop for the ages.
That is a hell of a drop.
Listen, Jeff Graham, I want to try to get him on the show because he probably doesn't. To Cars's point, he doesn't get that love.
Look who's in the chat. Look at this guy.
Oh, he's part of my shout outs tonight.
He is. He's writing a forward in Greg Bragg's new book called Narcissism and Me. Jim Larison is writing the forward.
The ghostwriter is Greg Braggs.
And I heard Jenny Braggs wants to write the secondary forward in Greg's book.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. But yeah, deep ball, you got to get it back. You got to make it important. You're as a head coach, as a play caller, you got to determine yourself to make sure that even despite anything, you're going to get 2 of those, 3 of those a half.
Yep.
That puts defenses on notice, and it
you
opens
don't
up
fucking
other
connect on it. It sends a message.
Exactly.
And the Bears just
you got to do it.
They were really good at not connecting on them.
Real quick, let me ask you guys: have you guys been more excited for?
Anyway, so what were we saying, Phil?
What do you do? It was a real question. It's a real question. For real, no, for real. I'm curious.
This is probably the most excited.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I was super excited after the Philadelphia playoff series, right? Like I felt like this was building towards something, and that went. What I'm really excited for is it feels like for once that we're not doing the Dollar Tree bin for offensive playmakers and offensive line, right? Like Phil, you said it. Like we added speed. We had Tariq Cohen and Darnell Mooney, and that's it for speed last year. And when Cohen went down, that was one guy. And that's no shot against Allen Robinson, right? He's very good at what he does. But this is the first time we actually went to go try to outrun another team. We built the line. We did the quarterback. It's different. And there are many seasons post 2005 after the Super Bowl, right? Like there are seasons that I've looked forward to. This just feels different.
It does.
I think it's probably the most conviction I've had in a quarterback, positive conviction, I should say, as a Chicago fan, in a quarterback in my lifetime since the Cutler trade.
Listen, if you don't go to a steakhouse and order the barbecue chicken. That's just, if you do that, that's just bad on you. That's what the Chicago Bears have done for years. They've gone to a steakhouse and they've ordered the fucking chicken every time.
Chicken nuggets.
They've given key players.
They're cheaper, yeah.
You know what I mean? They're spending too much money on the bad players when they should be building their roster. I think Chris Ballard said it the other day. The Colts are all about building their roster. They're not trying to go out, and I think his line was, we're not giving money. We're not giving A money to B players. Our guys that wear Colts uniforms know they want to be Colts. They want it. They're trying to build from inside, and I think that's something we're seeing in Chicago, with this draft, and they're really building a foundation and something to work with. And
you can't let Angelo build your franchise.
No, we're very economical, my family.
It can't be economical. You gotta be strategical. And to Cars's point, Marquise Goodwin, Mooney, you got Demir Bird. I was talking to Berlissimo earlier today. We're breaking them down this weekend. You know what Demir Bird ran the 40 in? I go, no. He said 4.28.
Yeah.
You know what Marquise Goodwin? 4.3 or 4.29 or whatever. Do you know what Mooney ran it in? So now you have those deep threats, not just one guy, not Bernard Berry, and that's it. You got 3. Now you got Cohen. What is he? I don't know what his health is, how you use him. David Montgomery. Obviously, you all know how I feel and stand up for this guy. Forget about the speed. It's everything. So the reality of where this team is going to go, you add Cole Kmet and how he's working on his body.
Damian Williams. Damian is going to.
Damian.
You are deeper than you have been.
I think we haven't even talked about
Khalil Herbert. I love that kid.
Yes,
I think
he's going to be he's going to be a starter on special team. He's going to be your return
could be
guy.
the kick returner right there. He'll be mark it down, you fantasy guys. He'll have a lot. I don't know. I don't even know. Do they have value? Maybe it's a defense.
He'll still see.
He could bring some value to the Bears defense.
But he'll still see snaps. Like it might be 5 to 8 snaps on offense to begin with, because the other two guys are going to get such a workload. I don't really picture Cohen as much of a running back this year, but
I'm worried about Cohen. He's my choice.
There's the rumor out there, and
he's going to get cut.
They're not going to cut him. His extension
because he has such a big
his extension kicks in.
He could be.
Biggs put out there that Cohen was limping around.
Oh, really?
At the last, and that's you're 9 months out from that ACL, so he could be a guy. I mean, that could be why they concentrated more on bringing a guy like Damian Williams in, doubling down with Khalil Herbert. I mean, obviously, there's been a lot of talk that he's not even going to see the time at running back. He's going to be more of the slot guy.
That's for sure where they're. Again, right? A lot of guys have had to play out of position because we not necessarily overspent, but we spent so much on defense and we didn't invest on offense, right?
Yeah.
Like we just kind of kept what's our thing, right? Some of the best offensive lines we've ever had, right? Reuben Brown, we got him off the retread,
absolutely,
right? Like we
John
always
Tate.
John Tate,
Blake
John Tate was
Brockermeyer, all those guys.
Yeah. Olin was talking about these guys last week.
Yep.
So
we
much
never
bargain
draft
bin.
them, right?
No, never
draft them. We hadn't done that since Ernie Venisi was the GM, drafting Keith Van Horn, Jimbo Covert, Tom Thayer, Jerry Fontenot. What's his name?
Mark Bortz.
Mark Bortz from Iowa.
That's the difference. I think that there is, when they brought Mitch in, obviously Ryan Pace had the confidence that Mitch was going to be something that he obviously didn't become. I just have the feeling with Justin Fields, I don't think it's just a Ryan Pace thing. I think this is a fucking organizational, everybody's on the same fucking page of where this is headed with Justin Fields. And I think that they realize that he's the sole focus. I don't think it's any fucking coincidence that they're talking about Arlington Heights and expanding and doing all of this other stuff, because to me, this is all surrounded around quarterback. They're playing off of the fucking hype train that came with Justin Fields. You want to get some public funding for a fucking stadium? Well, then you act on it. You keep this positive momentum rolling.
Yeah.
And I think it all, one hand washes the other. This is all a part of it.
Let me
But Phil, you got a great point. Sorry, real quick, Phil. 1983. If anybody looks, that is the single best draft in Bears history. If you're talking, Covert came out of that, Dewerson came out of that, Bortz came out of that, Dent came out of that, Thayer came out of that. Of that Super Bowl, like you're talking about
Willie cogs.
Willie Galt. But you drafted four of your starting line, or 3 of your starting linemen in one
draft
year. One draft. If you want to get excited about this, right? Jenkins and Borum as your tackles of the future. We don't do this. We don't double up. We kind of sprinkle here, we sprinkle there. We take these little, we don't ever invest in a position. Yeah. It's always just robbing from one to kind of plug this other hole, right? Like that's again why I'm so excited, because it's like we had a plan. We knew what we needed to do. And instead of doing something ridiculous, we're like, no, this is the plan. This is what we're going to do for the first time in 30 years.
This is what I brought up with Cap when Cap was on with us. And he seems positive that it's a one and done for Allen Robinson here. And boy, oh boy, I don't know. He's still a young player. He's been through the ACL. And I mean, I think if they go to him with a legitimate fucking, because listen, I'm not defending Ryan Pace because he's got his warts. He played the fucking wide receiver market perfectly.
Right. Yeah.
Allen Robinson and his management did not. Ryan Pace played them like a fucking fiddle with that, and that's to me
Galladay.
Exactly that whole thing that you saw when fucking Allen Robinson signed his tender, his franchise tenders, 24 hours, not even after they announced that they went out to eat with Kenny Galladay. But this is my thing. You want to go off of this cars, and you know how this cap is opening up for all these other teams, the Bears included, where they're going to have more of a financial windfall at their disposal. Is how are you going to take what is probably going to be your most consistent, productive target? How are you taking that away from Justin Fields by letting him walk?
And it's there's too much projection, right? Like I love Mooney, and I think he's got good talent, but you have to remember
you can't go into anything and say he's your fucking lead dog. You can't.
He's not to this moment. He's not a number one, right? He has upside, right? But he will never be what I would call a true number one, which at any point there's only 5 of probably in the NFL, right? Like there is these huge differences. And yeah, he's very efficient on route running, but we kind of sometimes overrate these guys when they do something solid their rookie years. And then we're like, nope, superstar, it's going to happen. That position is so tricky. So yeah, you can't, because you've got Jimmy Graham.
His story isn't written. So we have to see who he is in year 2. Year 1, I'll tell you this, though, on tape, that motherfucker blocked.
Oh, yeah.
But better and bigger than his size.
So I think what Cars is alluding to, though, Phil, this is the trap that the Bears have fallen into for so long is, we have this guy here. Oh, all right, see ya. We're going to bring next, and it's going to be the much younger, cheaper option. We're going to put all of these expectations on top of his fucking head, and it's fucking built.
We don't know his story yet.
No, but that's what I'm saying. These guys, but my point is, Phil, Ryan Pace and these guys aren't just looking at July at this deadline.
I agree.
They
when is the deadline? Today?
Was it 15th or something like that, right?
Yeah, I thought it was they've got 7 or 8 more days left.
Yeah.
Okay, so Allen Robinson is a very good player. There's no doubt about it. How he reacted, how he's handled this, we don't know what the conversations are, but it hasn't looked positive because he's been immature social media wise. That's keeping it a buck for him and his agent. You just don't play the game inside. Get it done. Don't get it done.
And that's always the joke. Wide receivers are such divas. They never do. Like they handle this.
He's not though. That's why.
No, he hadn't been to this point.
He's 27.
So
he's
his
young.
story. I want to see how he plays. I thought Ryan Cox hit it out of the park with his comments saying, Steve Smith wanted out. Then they got Cam Newton and the story changed. That could be the case.
That's what
Shayne has said that all throughout when the day was drafted. This could change the whole thing. You saw Eddie Jackson's instant reaction. I think that resonated entirely in the locker room. Let's keep it 100 there. And Mitch, for all his, good, there's a lot bad. And we've covered all of that. Now the next chapter begins. Where they are, how they are, always starts day 1 training camp this year. Now I want to see Darnell Mooney year 2. We saw Matt Nagy 2.0. Yes. I want to see Darnell Mooney take that next step where it's like you have to throw deep.
That's what we haven't had in our history. That's what I'm saying. It's
Marty Booker has a great year. We can't wait to boot him. Jeff Graham, he had his best year.
My God.
We let him go. Curtis Conway, we let him go.
We traded Greg Olsen for God's sake.
Oh my God.
For not even pennies.
For third rounder.
We have lived it, so we have a responsibility in this next chapter, as Ben is saying. The next chapter begins. We have to analyze it. They have listened. We know Patron 222, and hopefully they carry through. And it's going to be interesting to see. And you never know who rises up and becomes that next player.
That's why football's so awesome, though, because you never know. Like
you never do.
Last year at this time,
never been what he was in the NFL, right? Where he was drafted, and all of a sudden that guy takes over, right? Like those movements,
Exactly.
It's the greatest
Terrell.
board.
What's his name? Terrell
Just
Davis.
keep it with Chicago. Last year at this time, what were our expectations for Sam Mustipher? I mean, he's still got
Zero.
work to do, but those have been ramped up a lot more.
Did you hear Joniak talk about him, by the way?
I did not.
Joniak said the amount of respect that guy carries in the locker room now.
I did.
And like that, Phil's talked about that. That's a huge part that's been missing from the line since Olin left.
I can't wait to see how that offensive line steps out in competition. We were on with Olin, who worked with both of the guys, me and Olin, on separate sides here. He's pulling, and he admitted, Shayne, on the show for Sam, and there was some bias there, but he did talk about our guy, my guy, Dieter Eisler. And we're going to see how that competition is. Dieter, young, strong,
got to be healthy.
He's got to be healthy. It's going to be covered. I'm just telling you, you're going to want to sign up for Patreon, because the things that we're going to be able to do on that side with the new iPad and Berlissimo, Shayne, Cars, Claudio, BHL will be back. You're going to want
and the preseason games
and the preseason live.
We'll talk
analysis.
about it too much, but that's going to be for patrons.
Preseason patron live analysis. That's all we can tell.
Sorry, Greg, you'll be on the outside looking in.
Cool. But one thing I wanted to go back just to clear up my Tariq Cohen thing. I get that he has this cap. I'm going to ask the question to you all. Here's a guy that's coming off an injury. He's limping, according to Brad Biggs. Is this somebody that's going to get put on the shelf this year to get healthy again?
Well,
because of what Pace has done, I believe. I can't remember who wrote it.
It's
Cam Meredith. He ended up he's always Ryan Pace is covering his tracks here.
Where it's going to be telling for Tariq is when training camp starts on the 27th. If he doesn't participate, they have the ability to pup him, and then they can put him on that list.
Okay.
He'll miss potentially the first 6 games, I think.
Yes.
Of the season. Then you're talking October. So now you're in July. You're giving him the rest of July, August, September, October to heal. And this is the point of where the Bears were probably actually projecting ahead finally and looking at this, because Damian Williams, Khalil Herbert, they brought in the UDFA, blanking on his name there, the kid from
Marable.
Yeah,
CJ
Marable.
Yep, all these guys. So I mean, they listen,
Ryan Nall coming back.
They know where Tariq is, and if there's any sort of an issue with him being in year one of his, it's not big money, but it's
It's $6 million of dead cap if they cut him.
Yeah, sure. I'm
it's not peanuts, but
this is keeping it 100, and I'll keep it 100 with me. I would have never brought a fucking extension.
None of us on this fucking
way.
No fucking way. He's not even in the vicinity of Tariq Hill in regards to that.
That's, I think somebody in the chat might have been John the Crone or somebody said to use him like Tariq Hill.
They don't do it.
But he's not Tariq Hill. It's not
He's not
close.
But he could be used in like that first year.
The speed portion of it,
God.
But the aggressiveness, the fucking, he's not as explosive as Tariq Hill. He's really not.
He's a gadget guy, right?
Yes.
Like he's a very good return man. He offers you some positional flexibility.
Drew Rosenhaus saw that fucking extension on his table and he signed it before even talking to Tariq.
He's to Cars's point, he's a mismatch if you get the matchup, but you got to know how to play chess. And our guy's a checker player in Matt Nagy.
We've never had the talent either, though. Like he was always miscast because our other guys are Javon Wims and Anthony Miller, right? Like we and zero tight ends and zero. So like you had to. This is kind of like the first time that we may legitimately be able to line up across from someone and just run a scheme instead of a shell of a scheme for covering over a left tackle and a quarterback and a tight end and all these weird things. Like this is going to be the one year that last year was when we learned about the final of Mitch. This is the year that you learn about Nagy, good, bad, or indifferent.
Yep.
And if there's no change, then you know. But you've finally given him the parts and pieces to do it. And, it's just going to, that again, like there are so many unknowns, but there's competition up and down this roster this year. Like you don't think that they're worried about Gibson at the defensive end, right? Like that he's going to step up, that they're looking at him to go run at Robert Quinn. Like every key position outside of probably quarterback and Roquan, there's competition. And that's awesome.
That's the extension you need to watch for right there. Is 58.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, Roquan is definitely.
It's going to reset the inside linebacker market.
Let's see what
100%.
he does. We've already seen that he's there, that he's attacking it. He's going to try to be the leader of this team, and there's no doubt on tape his talent. Obviously, we saw that hiccup, whatever the personal reasons and the conspiracies and all of that stuff, but it seems like he's hyper-focused on this great game of football, and that's Roquan Smith. Tariq Cohen, I've seen glimpses of greatness out of
Right, well, Phil,
that Pittsburgh game. That Pittsburgh Steelers run.
The Tampa game, when I was there, you put him in a matchup on a wheel route, or you put him in the slot and allow him the opportunity to attack downfield, and then it goes away. You get against Green Bay, and all of a sudden you're throwing the shit at the wall. You don't even understand to find a matchup. So there's no doubt Tariq Cohen has talent.
Yeah, well, Angels got in there, Bernard. We're not giving up on Tariq, but let's not talk about Tariq's been here since 2017. Yeah. So
he's 9 months removed from an ACL surgery, who may not be ready to start the season, and the Bears need to be honest.
Nobody's saying that he doesn't have a skill, but people comparing this guy to Tariq.
No,
he's not Tariq.
Well, and also he lost his brother. I mean,
he's not even Tariq Cohen right now.
We don't know how he is going to be mentally.
Best season was 3 years ago, 2018.
Tariq Cohen is somebody that doesn't show toughness on tape when it mattered. Now, last year
the only
he got
time
hurt.
was the Saints game. Remember the Saints game with this stuff?
When
then
they
he got
went
fired
like this,
up.
then
Most
he's
aggressive
turned
run
on
of his career. Yeah,
and then we said, Shayne, that show on Bears Hour Live, that guy needs to be on the game day the whole game. Yeah. You can't just choose that you're upset now you're going to show up. Be upset every time. Stop with the fucking flips and start shaking your hips up the field. The East-West stuff got very, very easy to recognize. And listen, the tape never lies. That's why this network. So nobody's giving up on Tariq. But when you're on the fucking internet stream and fucking Call of Duty for 4 hours, and then on fucking Sundays you're running East-West, then I'm getting fired up because I know what it takes to be a great player, and you're not giving it on Sundays. That's just the reality. How they fucking extended him is beyond me. I completely agree with you.
I mean, who is the factors putting it on quarterback because of I just come on. Grasping it cause. I don't.
He's a niche player that should be like 15 snaps on offense.
Exactly.
He's a gadget guy.
Caden's right there, my boy. Exactly. Let's see. Wait, just like with Mooney, Tariq, or as Cars was saying, this is Matt Nagy. Tariq, this is your year. This is your camp to show us. If he goes on PUP, everything like that, but do not compare this guy to Tariq Hill. Tariq Hill is a guy that wants the football with the safety coming and the corner, and he's trapped and the linebacker's there. He's still going up for the football. Tariq Cohen's going one hand trying to make a catch to try to show up on a highlight. That's the difference. Make the fucking catch, move the chains, get up the field, watch David Montgomery. That's why I laugh at some of these fucking verified. They don't know their fucking ass from their elbow.
That's the difference, and this is where Tariq, if he's healthy, can be a weapon. Because you're gonna you have Justin Fields, who's gonna be. He's not looking to run all the time, but he can move. He's looking to pass first. But you just think about him buying some fucking time and dumping it off to Tariq Cohen. Yeah. Dumping it off
wheel route, as Phil said, right?
Exactly.
Get him matched up. It's just as much the coach as it is the player.
Calling
here.
him a gadget player is not disrespectful either.
No, not at
Get
all.
over that. I mean, Jesus,
Every team has a gadget guy.
Damn right.
Well,
He's,
it is
like,
what
you
it
can't
is.
call him- He's supposed to be Darren Sproles, and he's not Tariq Hill, and he's certainly not even Darren Sproles, right?
Darren,
So, like,
remember Danny Woodhead cars?
Yeah.
Danny Woodhead would hit it up in there and fucking just destroy. He's not afraid. Darren Sproles at 4. We're seeing Nagy call fucking 4th and 1 plays with Tariq Cohen or 3rd and 2. That shit just baffled me because you didn't use the right personnel, and he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't get it. So how does Tariq look in the mirror now? Does he want it, or does he want what Caden said? A great stream. I had a great stream on Call of Duty today.
I
That's
got
up
my
to him.
paycheck. I got my paycheck.
Exactly.
I got my guaranteed money. What am I going to do?
Yep.
Yes.
No, for real.
Every player, as Jamari said, has a role on the team. I'm going to see Darren Sproles. I would take on my football team all day. If I had to choose Sproles or
I'd take
Cohen,
J.K. Dobbins over Cohen.
Not
also.
even.
I'd
Not
take
even
J.K. Rowling right now, the writer of Harry Potter
J.K.
series,
Simmons?
over that.
about
That's the
J.K.
nerdiest
Simmons?
shit
J.K.
I can
Dobbins
say
averaged
on
6
this
yards
show.
a carry.
Right? That's
two
it.
Harry Potter comments in the one show.
Did you guys
I
see
had
the new
Harry
movie?
Potter cloak?
The Tomorrow War with
Yes, I did.
I just started.
Did you see
that shit.
how jacked J.K. Simmons had? You know J.K.
Oh
Simmons.
my God, he's like
Dude,
60 years
fucking-
old. He was ripped as
Yeah.
hell.
Oh
That was a
my
good movie,
God.
though. That was actually a good movie.
Yeah,
You'll
we're
get
gonna
more
give
plates,
some
more dates.
streaming advice in our next segment, but got some football in there,
Factor,
guys.
they did it. David Montgomery did it multiple times.
Yes, David Montgomery. Just watch David Montgomery. He's my choice. Well, we're gonna get into that as the weeks go. We got plenty of weeks. Next week we don't have a guest lined up yet, Shayne. We
That might be a good thing. That'll give us an entire Keeping It 100 show with nothing but football, current football, which
There
is
you
in
go.
front of us.
There you go.
So I say we stay with that.
So Shayne is putting his foot down.
Yes.
You leave it. You leave a comment in the chat.
Fuck Jackal. Fuck Claudio. We're talking football.
Model.
Okay, coach.
Gangsters, what's up, guys?
There's Jackal coming into the show.
Gangsters, what's up, guys?
Gangsters, what's up,
guys?
Jackal had a football thought tonight on the show. I'm marking that down, Caden.
Hey, they're in there.
They're in there. You're in the Cape. Hope you're enjoying yourself up there. This is our next segment, everyone's favorite. But before we go to the final segment and say goodnight tonight, I want to play this. If you don't know, we're also a podcast live streaming are all over Amazon. We're on Amazon, Spotify, iHeartRadio, all of it like this. Oh, that's Bears Hour Live. No?
Keeping It 100 can be found on all podcast streaming apps: iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Overcast, Castbox, Deezer, and finally, officially on Google Music and Podcasts. It's Keeping It 100 with Phil and Shayne.
Now to sum it all up, we've had an amazing night. We had the legend Doug Plank. We had 100 crew ambassador Alex H talking about family. We've broken a lot of stuff down in football. Cars came on. Claudio and Chris Jackal had a football thought and their own original thought. Claudio stays in that Mooney lane. That's it. But it's still his thought. And right now, I want to double back on my boy Shayne Marsaw sent out a great public service announcement. And I'm going to say this on our YouTube channel for those of you downloading or watching this show later. Not everybody could be there and schedule their nights like our guys, Cameron Beige and Josh E. and Steph Froyland. You can't make it every night. Logan Frost, Bullets. I don't want to miss anybody, hurt anybody's feelings. I saw people tailgating in a chat room for the first time. That's how crazy this show is.
Yep.
But I need you, as Shayne said, to go into Apple iTunes and leave a 5-star review. We were told that our show was lower than some of these shit Bears fucking shows that couldn't even lick my fucking toenail, for God's sake, with their Bears talk. It's like, come on.
Glad you went to toenail.
Let's go and get in there, do this network. That's the one favor I ask of you. Go over to iTunes, right, Shayne?
Yeah,
subscribe
I know there was
in the
I know
podcast.
HL said he was having a problem with it. I've been trying to
boy
look into
HL
it.
was here too, I'm sure.
Yeah. I just, if you're not an iTunes, an Apple person, you can still create an account, Apple Podcasts, and do it, but you have to make sure to subscribe to the podcast before you can leave a review. So that's a big part of it. But yeah, if you give us positive reviews, the 5 stars, it pushes us up the ladder a bit and gets us noticed a little bit more. And it really does help us out with the exposure end of it. So we do appreciate it. It takes a couple of days for them. They actually have to review your review and go through it that way. And it is what it is. Along with that, there comes haters. So there's going to be both sides to this.
I saw.
Yeah,
it's okay. You cannot.
Yeah,
I'm going to talk
we'll
about bigots anytime I want.
Yep.
Because that's keeping it 100. And if I see, let me say this point: go over there, 5-star, do whatever. Haters are going to hate. You're going to have. My wife even went and did this, Shayne. She was fired up. I go, you left the fact that you're my wife. That's going to open you up to some bullshit that's going to get me fired up, because obviously it doesn't take a lot to get me fired up. But if you're going to fuck with my family, then, well, I'm giving you the keys to how to get me fired up. I'm going to fucking come after you. Not like the Mexican cartel, though, Cars.
Well, interesting. If you look right now, some guy named Jay Larison has the most recent review up
Does
there.
he?
So I don't know if you know that
know him?
guy, but he seems to be a pretty big fan of the show. Longtime listener, first time caller type of thing. But yeah.
Here we go.
He's giving you details. I love this guy.
But we got even more. We got even more details, Phil.
Really?
Look at this. This will show you step by step.
Oh my
you
God!
Go there.
Technology.
You scroll down. You see right there on the left hand side. Look at it. It's going to say. Look at that. Write a review. You see that?
4.7.
Look at that.
You click on it and it's going to bring it up. I love the TTNL network. TTNL is all about family. Doesn't get any better. 100 Crew is the best there is. Sent. Thank you for your feedback. So it's really it's simple, easy process. It helps us out, like Jim said, a whole bunch. Search on Apple iTunes and find Keepin It 100. You may have to put in a Chicago Bears, but Keepin It 100, a Chicago Bears podcast. Search to the bottom for the reviews. Rank 5 stars, write a review, and it does. It has a big impact for what we do. Jim says it takes 5 minutes.
That would go a long way. So say you don't have money. You're always asking, what can I do? Well, this is something I'm a competitive guy, as Cars could tell you, as Shayne could tell you. When I saw where we were ranked and who was ahead of us, like, granted, we're like out of 500, a certain number, but that's not good enough. We're the best Bears show on the planet. Don't fucking get it twisted. That is the truth. The haters could hate. You could pretend you don't know. I'll never pretend that I don't know the other shows. I'll never pretend. And I'm always about promoting other shows. But right now, do us a favor. Go over there. 5 minutes, like Jim Larison, like Shayne showed you. Takes 5 minutes. Do a little review and a 5-star. The 5-star, if you don't feel like writing anything, just go 5-star it and go there. I appreciate that. All right. I think we said it all. Get some swag. The swag shop is open. And let's get into our next series. Shayne, where is the shout out song? Cherie's favorite.
Shout out Tape Never Lies. Shout out. I know you hear me, baby. Shout out. I know you see me, baby. Shout We gotta holla at you. Keep it 100 crew. Gotta show love too. I know you hear me, baby. I know you see me, baby. We gotta holla at you. Keep it 100 crew. Gotta show love too. From the fans in the stands to the follows on the gram. Thanks for your support, showing love in the DM. We stay Spencer strong, fight together till the end. Now it's time to shout out worldwide friends and fam.
The network that keeps it real, 100 crew. So many in the world that I gotta show love to. For some this policy the show is at its end, but for me it's so important to thank the charter members and the fans. Built the network, speak the truth through the tape. Never run around the truth, no narratives we create. Set them straight, no bubble screen on 4th and 8. Audio Shayne getting nervous cause keeping them up too late. That's it, no more to say to get the shot of vital. But hurry up cause the postman's getting homicidal. Shout out, strong.
I know you hear me, baby. Shout out. I know you see me, baby. Shout out. We gotta holla at you. Keep it 100 crew. Gotta show love too. Shout out. I know you hear me, baby. Shout out. I know you see me, baby. Shout out. We gotta holla at you. Keep it 100 crew. Gotta show love too.
The network that keeps it real. Spencer Strong.
There's hope, guys. There's hope.
There's hope, guys.
I'm not saying that.
There's hope, guys. There's Claudio.
That's loud.
That is loud, but I love it. I love
awesome.
Cool
Great
Kennedy killing it with that beat, the shout out song. I'm gonna go first this week, guys. I'm gonna make that because I'm the longest. I don't want to hold up this breaking.
Holy fuck! This is real breaking news.
Yes.
Phil, go ahead.
I want to go first because I know I have a lot of I wrote down my shout outs because I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anybody. First shout out is to the guy that was explaining it only takes 5 minutes. Jim Larison has been a friend beyond a friend. I'm not just saying this because he's in the chat. I have it written down because I didn't want to forget. Without him, this network wouldn't have got off the ground.
Ain't that the truth?
That's the truth. And all you people that love this show, love this podcast, love the family, Jim is family. Jim had a rough week, and we found out that he was in critical condition, basically, in the hospital. It got crazy, and we just found out. But Jim is doing better, obviously, in the chat. But life comes at you fast sometimes, as Claudia would say.
Like lightning.
So I wanted to shout. I'm glad 100 crew continue to say as Jim's on medication now, and hopefully I'm not going to share what he had to deal with, but it was crazy.
Godspeed on your recovery. Jim.
Yeah.
He found out Braggs had 3 TVs and it fucking pissed him off.
I'm gonna throw those TVs in the fucking pool.
Yeah.
I want to shout out Doug
That'll
Plank
warm it
for
up.
coming on the show, and to our guy Greg Braggs for facilitating Doug and helping us get Doug on the show. Really, real recognizes real. Doug needed this platform, let people know who he is, and he's just a great human being. And Greg, I appreciate you helping get that. Now, with that being said, just some news. Mike Tenorelli, you remember him as The Bachelor. We're going to get him back on the show. Maybe we'll come on next week when we're talking football. Mike played. But Mike and Sammy the Bull, 2 of shout outs together, are planning the TTNL tailgate. We got flags. I got one behind me here, but we're going to get another company making some more flags. If you know a company that you really believe in, reach out to me and Shayne because we really want some TTNL flags. Let everybody know where we're going to be. Mikey T is getting all of this stuff set up, generator, internet, service at the stadium so we could do 2 shows, one pre-game show live on TTNL and of course BHL right after the game live on the network. So Mikey T, I want to shout you out. Josh E, my boy down in Florida, just doing tremendous things for me and my family. Can't thank you enough, Josh E. Lawrence Fleming, his mother had a birthday, 69th birthday the other day. He is the voice of TTNL, always coming through whenever we need him, Shayne. Shayne will get me behind the scenes, pull the curtain. He'll give me the script. I send it to Lawrence. It could be at like 11 at night. Lawrence gets it back to me, and then we produce it, and that's how we roll. And Lawrence is the ultimate team player, always supporting this network. I can't thank you enough. Bullets, I see you in the chat. You're a true 100 crew head. People make fun of you for taking our boy Kwity Paye 4th overall.
Defensive Rookie of the Year.
But listen, Bullets is my boy. I had a nice conversation with this man, and really, it's not real. I don't blow smoke. He's family. That's my guy there. I really appreciated your words. Alex H, Cameron Beige, I want to shout you. Ben, my boy Ben, I think he's in the chat from Dibs Vantage. He collects like 80s Claudio shirts and hats from the 80s and 90s, that vintage stuff.
Yeah,
and he's really so I'm shouting out his company on the show because he's a patron and a big fan of what we do here. Ben, shouting you out just like I said, because we're not trying to get money for anything. I want you to be successful. So that's Dibs Vantage. Check them out on Instagram. Follow Dibs Vantage. Maurice Anton from Connecticut, but he lives in Michigan. We probably crossed paths back in the day. He's naming off all the clubs, but if I was to read Maurice's letter to me, his DM, it's just family. And I got a reel right here for you, bro. What you wrote about what this network, what this tape, and what our breakdowns do for you and what this show means to you is everything, man. It's why we do it. So I know you live in Michigan now, or Detroit, but I got to shout you out. Also, Jake McGee, Ben's boy. Jake McGee put Ben onto our show, and now Ben is a lifer. So Jake, shout out to you. Sergio Saucedo, you always are sharing, liking, and doing everything for this network. We got to get this guy on the show. I want to know who this man is. Eugene Cook, he's doing his own promos. He wants to take Angelo's spot. We got to get Eugene on here. Last week he was doing that thing, whatever that was. This week he's shouting us out. Rick Riggs, shouting you out. Mikkel Williams, I see you in the chat. Christopher Price, I got to get him on the show, the fullback. Yes. Christopher Price, him, John Necrone, Funkster Jones, got to get you guys together, help plan the TTNL Pittsburgh Steeler Winnebago trip that Chris Jackal and Claudio have done zero preparation.
I did all the legwork, and Claudio's like, I'll take care of it.
Yeah, Claudio's done shit.
And then radio silence. He's barking up the Patreon.
Thank you for calling him out. He's a big talker.
I just heard this for the first time right now.
Cut it
Get
out.
Get your Boost Mobile thing going, and let's figure this out, dude. Come on.
Yeah, please. Can you fucking step up for one?
No, we're very economical, my family.
that laugh. I love that fucking laugh right there, dude.
It's so great. Yeah. Claudio, stop being economical. Get off your ass. Plan this. I know those guys are going to plan. We're setting this all up for Pittsburgh. So some people can't go to the Bears-Packers TTNL meetup. They'll go to Pittsburgh. Gigi Garcia, always promoting us. I know Cool Kennedy's mom. Gigi, always Gareth Tanswell, appreciate you from across the pond. Steph Froylan, I see you in the chat. Mark Elliott, Rob Razchik, Chris Bowditch, Matt Powell. We got to talk, Matt. So DM me. I got to talk to you. Patrick Nakamura, always sharing. I want to shed a happy anniversary to the John Necrone and his wife, HL Priest, my boy. Shout you out for all of your support. How can we? HL is always there. My boy Logan Frost, MVP, Logan, and Bullets right now. Sherry Kovacevic, always sharing our show. She does all these administratives for Facebook.
Didn't butcher
groups.
that one.
I hope I didn't.
Patron list 549.
Sherry
550.
Kovacevic. Jen Warner. Jen Warner's not even listening to the show, but wrote a great review after she did listen to it. Now she's in. Dom Cagney, the R&B singer. Jesse Beltran. Clint Wilson, I know he's in the chat. Lauren Yoshimura sent me this DVD, Shane, of all his produced music, reggae music. He's given us full rights to use his music.
Oh, beautiful.
It's a CD, so I gotta somehow rip it or whatever. I don't know if I could do that with this new Mac. So I'll have to figure out a way.
So
Man,
for
I'll send it to... Yeah, go ahead.
For you kids, CDs used to be this thing that we would put music on that was on a spinning disc.
They're fucking antiques now, bro.
It was
They're in your
preceded
car,
by
too.
cassette tapes. So
Yes.
we'll walk through this one week with you.
There
What
it
about
is.
the 8-tracks? You're gonna even
So
go
he's-
What about a cassette tape?
Listen,
Oh,
this guy produced all this reggae music. He listens to us avidly from Hawaii. He
Nice.
heard my love for reggae beats, and he's a producer. I'm going to send all this music to Cool Kennedy, and we'll go from there. But we'll keep it in the family. Gil Gomez, my boy, thank you for your review. Richard Gordon, Jack Elliott, Randy Rogers, Robert Arculo. I hope I said it right. Arculo, Otis Nichols, and Paul Rogers. You guys, this week, I wanted to make sure I got everybody. I can't thank you guys enough. So those are my shout outs this week. That's why I went first. And this
Golly, what the hell is going on?
13 minutes, and
I know it.
Hey, I
that's
tried.
literally 13 minutes on the nose. That's pretty good.
There you go.
You hit the heart out, Phil.
Johnny knocks that shit.
You're hitting the post.
Shane, don't bring up your crazy videos now, please.
No. I'm all good.
All right, so let's go with cars to follow me.
Sorry, I just woke up. What did I miss? No, I'm kidding. No,
Excellent. Get off. He's
No, I have to follow up a lot of Phil's, right? Like the group here, everybody that's in the chat, right? It's hard not to find someone. It's hard to find someone you don't like. It would be great if I could speak proper English at this point in time. But special for me is HL, right? He's in everywhere. He's probably one of the louder folks shouting out everybody, right? He's someone that I interact with, I feel like, almost daily, right? And that's something that I really appreciate. Other than that, I have to shout my wife because I have been stressed to hell, which means I'm a bigger pain in the ass than I normally am, which is scientifically close to impossible. So thank you for putting up with me the last 2 weeks. Like 18 more years left, and then maybe it'll get better. So
There's hope, guys.
there is hope. There is hope. But other than that, that's everybody. Thanks.
Oh, let's go to Chris Jackal, chilling in the Cape.
Hey.
Although he is working and chilling in the Cape.
First off, hey, shouting out. Looks like we got a birthday coming up.
Yeah,
Michael.
Mike Haw.
Yeah. Hey,
42.
guys, up close and personal.
Motherfucker looks 62. I'm kidding, Michael.
Happy birthday.
I'm going to shout out this close up, showing off my
You are the most relaxed I've ever seen.
One might almost say you look half baked.
You just had some fried eggs.
I'm
You just had some
nano-baked.
fried eggs, right?
Did you see this guy?
Fried up some eggs.
Hello, everyone. This
Hello.
is Chris Jackal.
My name
Hello.
is Christopher Jackal.
Hey,
And
And
I
you
just
are
wanted
listening
to pass
to
along
Massachusetts
everybody
is a beautiful state.
that Justin Fields is the pick. It's Justin Fields.
Hey, Massachusetts is a beautiful state.
There you go.
You know,
You're
just
feeling
enjoying it
fine.
here with, up here at the Cape. It's probably my last day. Got to probably get to the
Wow.
office on Friday.
There you go.
You know, to see some people. But with all that being said,
No
you know,
Powerade left. Elvis fucking drank it all.
well, I know where it's stocked now to get some in case I need something to drink. Just hit up Elvis. But Cars, you said it best. HL is, he is like literally everywhere. He is an amazing fan. You see, there's so many people you could go off. Phil left at like 567 of the Patreon list, and we could finish off. But it's just been like, it's amazing to see. It's a true family. Alex, being the ambassador, is a perfect spokesperson for the TTNL family. And wouldn't be prouder to be calling myself a member of that family as I do right now. So, shout out to everybody here, and just want everyone to have another safe week and get to see everybody next week.
Nice. Claudio the Barber.
Well, I'll piggyback.
Making
HL
barber money.
HL Priest, Alex H coming on. Awesome job. A couple of new guys. Jared Perry. Haven't seen him in the chat before. Shout out to you. Max Power. Laz. Matt Bauer. Tim Wall from Hawaii. Aloha. Eugene Cope.
Jim Larris.
I'm just like, damn, Jim. It's just weed, dude. It ain't fucking meth, bro.
You turned it up to 11 on that
real
one.
quick.
Well, I like that girl that
I like this one. Jackal, did you see this
You gotta read it,
Lion
Shayne.
Jackal with dental pros.
You gotta read it for the podcast. Shayne.
Yes.
Oh my God.
This is from Jim Larison, also known as Yoko. Chris is what happens when you mix meth with shrooms and are ending a 3-week bender of vodka and sitting in the sun all day.
It's so fucked up. That's awesome. Oh man, I don't drink.
Accuracy is fucked
Jim.
up. Or...
No, I don't drink.
I guess I'm gonna add shout out to Jim.
Jim
Fucking
Larris.
making that fucking joke of the night. That was fucking hilarious.
Oh shit.
And my wife and kids and Italia Forza Azzurri.
Losing to England,
we're winning,
bro.
baby.
Are they playing England?
England. So I don't. Is Bellissimo a soccer fan too?
He's
In England?
sitting on
Scottish,
tape
dude.
right now, waiting for Saturday. Right, George?
X's with the O's this Saturday. That's right, Shayne.
Ladies and gentlemen, class is now in session. X's with the O's.
This Saturday, live, Demarius Bird and Marquise Goodwin with Barelissimo.
Look at you.
We'll ask him on Saturday, Claude, if he's going for England.
Yeah. Well,
Harry
I would
Kane.
think he is, right?
Harry Kane.
He might not. Top of the morning to you there, Oh, that's Ireland. I suck at that.
Harry. Jesus, Phil. Holy shit.
Which is
We're
also
international.
right next to the Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
So if you look on the map,
Phil-
they're
Do they
Phil-
own the Dominican?
He'll stop there on his way to Texas. Can I get a pint?
I thought you can drive to the Dominican.
Oh boy.
Anyway, Jackal, I'm very proud of you for being so full of life tonight. Full of life.
so messed up. We really appreciate
Meth is amazing.
Jane, Claudio, do you have
No, I'm
anybody
good, I'm
else
good.
to
Yep,
shout out?
We're good.
The
We're good.
disclaimer,
That's it?
I never did
Yeah,
that.
we're good.
Okay. Last but not least,
Yeah.
the man of the hour, Tower of Power. He'll devour. Fucking grapes aren't sour.
Barb calls me King Dingaling. Talk to her on the phone.
Oh,
Where did
lightning
he go?
lightning must have hit his house too, I
Who
guess.
did that shit? Claudio. The one time
Hey,
he produced.
I had to get him back. Shayne. I'm sorry, bro.
Shane's
all
like,
good.
I'm sorry,
okay,
man.
I got
All
some.
good. All good.
Don't
I'm ready.
mess
I'm
with
ready for
Shayne.
bed.
Shayne,
so
what do
I
you
guess
got?
I guess I am up. I'm going to go a little retro here, and hey, everything that we do here, we're talking about people, doing the 5-star reviews and all that. But along with that comes haters. We welcome you too, because if we didn't have haters, we're not doing it right. And I want to point out this guy, and just to show you what this network is built on. Yeah, Eddie G.
Oh man,
this was back on April 6th. Justin Fields is a special quarterback. We need to take him if he's there. And Eddie is a Denver Broncos fan, by the way. So this was on April 6th, 2021.
3:30 p.m. for those of you listening.
This is great.
Fast forward to July 1st. Chicago Bears fans got to be the biggest idiots out right now. I'll take Locke and Teddy over your mediocre quarterbacks any day. But we're always lurking. We always see stuff like this, but we're always gonna call it out. Always. That's the way that we do it.
You gave a dumbest tweet without even doing the segment. Look at you.
That's right.
Look at that clown.
Well played, Shayne.
Very well played, Shayne.
Professional.
I would like to shout out my daughter for not letting me ever sleep. That's extremely fun. We're having fun there, but no, we're getting through it. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to part of our network, Cherie. She's battling some sickness. She caught it directly from Tooch. Tooch is battling his every other day sickness. Cherie caught it.
Tooch never showed up tonight.
There's a lot of sickness going on.
Tooch is dealing with a kid's birthday party this evening. He texted me, said he was going to be able to make it.
One of the
it is midnight now, but
one of the 47 children. I
don't know what kid's birthday party.
Well, get well, Cherie.
Yeah.
You know how much we love you. Stay away from Tooch, damn it.
Yeah, really.
It's good life advice. It's very good life advice.
She's got to get in shape because we're doing her online profile, so she's gonna having dudes knocking down her door. I mean,
there you go.
More than normal in the chat, you mean? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, shout out to Cherie. Like I said, all of you guys. Things are gonna be ramping up here real quick, man. It's gonna come hard, Jackal. Timestamp that.
It's gonna come hard.
Yep, we're ready to go. And in the words of the great Gary Williams, you gotta have hope. We have hope now, and that's all we ever wanted. It's such a good feeling, and I think it goes beyond us. It goes beyond the fans. It goes all the way up to the top of the Chicago Bears organization. And I just have the feeling, like Carr said, this is different. It feels like they're doing it the right way this time. They finally figured it out. I don't know where that's the best Jackal's ever looked in the dark like that. But
Sorry,
love all you guys. We're onward and upward. Big month coming up for us here. The end of July, going into August. Things are going to go into overdrive real fast here. And you're not going to want to miss any of it. Head over to thetapeneverlies.com, sign up, become a TTNL patron. $7. Listen, if you check it out and it's not for you, you're out $7. You don't have to. It's not anything that you're signing up for.
But
long
remember
term.
that it's going to kick up with the new paints.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? If TTNL right now, we're dealing with all the old paints, so we're giving you the picture then. But when this new team, the breakdown, the quarterback competition. We talked about this weekend. We broke down some defensive linemen. We were looking at Mario Edwards and Bilal Nichols. What's that going to look like when games are played? That stuff is going to just be on another level that nobody out there is doing. They could talk about it on Twitter, but it's the reality of the truth, Shayne. So the new paints are coming. One of them will be David Montgomery. Was that your last?
Hello again.
And we trying to do full pass tomorrow? Do what? Full pass tomorrow?
Pads?
Yeah.
Not allowed.
You sure?
Yeah. 100%. Can't do
Alright.
that. Why?
I want to run the ball.
Wait, what?
Why?
I want to run the ball.
I know. That's training camp. do. There's nothing you can do.
You're
made for training camp. You've got.
No, I'm made for Sunday.
You've got.
Hey, you see if Tape's throw me on them teams?
No, you can't do that. You're not.
I'm not athletic enough.
I don't think you're athletic enough, but you're tough enough. I don't know if you're athletic enough. Huh? No, you can't do that, man. Once you're a big time running back, like
I'm not.
Once you're big time, and
you know what they got me ranked at?
Don't
running
wear
back right
Crocs
now?
anymore.
You know what they got me ranked right now?
Huh?
You know what they got me ranked right now?
Where?
25.
What? Why are you looking at what they got ranked?
I'm just letting you know. NFL, CBS.
What?
Yeah. It's cool though. Because guess what?
What?
At the end of the year, I'm gonna make all pay. Hey, and you can keep that on the mic up too, big dog.
Oh, you're
I'm hot.
Family on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Family.
Bro, beaver mouth.
Hey man, that's a episode. Demo, Mike, man, get who you get and got how you got.
The Tape Never Lies Network.
The tape never lies. Tape never lies.
Starts now.
Jack to the B at 20 for the Bears.
Exactly, Greg.
Oh my God!
This is great.
I am in heaven!
What world?
Purchase your tracks today.
I'd trade my kid for a quarterback right now.
Oh, this is Claudia the Barber, and this is Shy City Sports Keepin It 100.
Chicago's trading up.
Yes!
What?
Here it is!
There was something else going on with this team because I love football. I play football. I'm a lineman, so I have a different perspective of the game.
Bye, everybody.
Two things I taught my son and all my children. You always surround yourself with good people, and the tape never lies.
Bye again.